Woohoo! Alrighty. Well, mouse dancing song to warm us up a bit. And there we go. Time to continue reading where we left off, which is the end of Act 1. So, let's go. End of Act 1. Years in the future, but not many. A wayward vagabond records a stuttering step in the sun-bleached dust. This is a link. I forget what that link goes to. Oh, just like extra panels. Oh, he finds a thing. Act 2. Ah yes, the game facts, suburb betas. Oh, I can read all of this. Okay. Suburb Beta Walkthrough version 1.0, April 13th, 2009 by Tentacle Therapist. Table of Contents 1. Caveats and Condolences. 2. Walkthrough incomplete. Caveats and Condolences. I'd be inclined to dispense with the trite even under less pressing circumstances. Needless to say, I'll forego the inscrutable ASCII banner which typically heralds the striking freefall of these documents. I'll also resist the urge to brandish any copyright marks or the particular neurosis that concerns itself with the theft of the utterly mundane. I'll allow other deranged prospectors to stake claims on their worthless plots as the woods burn around them. My introduction will be sparse. There'll be no majestic prose blustering into the sails of the galleon as we embark into this voyage together, nor will there be any ham-fisted prose whipping its limbs under a bedsheet like a retarded ghost, for that matter. I won't set the stage or dim the lights. The mood, you will see, will be set soon enough. Since you are reading this, chances are you've installed this game on your computer already. If this is true, like many others, you have just participated in bringing about the end of the world. But don't beat yourself up about it. There is never anything you could have done to prevent it. The end is happening right now as I type and as you read. I have come to understand that we were always doomed through our collective ignorance, and now further doomed by those of you who know and struggle to flee. If you're lucky, you'll be among the smaller subset of the latter who are successful. What I mean is, while that game you installed is just one more grinding slab of rock sealing our planet's crypt, it is also your only hope to live. I'm presently faced with the same conundrum as you, and though I speak with more experience, my own outcome is far from assured. I will play the game, as much of it as there is to play, and record my findings here. If you want to live, you will do as I instruct. My condolences. Ooh, already in an S page. Kind of interesting, actually. I just noticed something. So that was really interesting. I just noticed something, so I'm going to replay that really quick and see if you can notice it with me. Yeah, replay it. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is that this whole flash, not only is it the transition between the real world and suburb, it's a transition from light to void. Like, even innocuous things like this fire sputtering out for no reason is very strange, but like the windows, the dimness going down, everything becoming dark, like creatures popping out from the shadows, that kind of thing. And that just reminds me of that one page where it's like almost like really symbolic and reminiscent of the entire Homestuck as a whole, which is just covered in void symbolism. So it's like, I'm almost certain that like the ultimate riddle and like Homestuck itself all has something to do with the void as like a very important aspect, which is ironically overlooked in a lot of things because people tend to overlook void. That's its nature. But yeah, even the background of the medium and everything, the void, it's just all the void. So that's kind of interesting. The kernel divides. The two halves go their separate ways, leaving behind the sprite portion. Yeah, so once you enter the game, those go to the towers, and they do the thing. And there we go. And there's the gates. Boy. What is left of the sprite undergoes a mysterious transformation. For a moment you thought you heard someone say boy as if whispered in the periphery of your awareness. It was probably just your imagination, though. S. You there, boy! To see this content as originally intended, view on a flash-enabled device. Show me anyway. Thickness. To work around, use the mouse, arrow keys, or WASD keys. Click on the various objects to open command menus for them. There we go. So I guess in the new Homestuck website, the flash pages are kind of like This? Huh. I'd rather just play it, to be honest. You there, boy. What? Boy, listen to me, boy. His name is John, you nincompoop. Boy who is John, do as I say. What would you like boy who is John to do? Obey my commands, John boy. And those commands would be... I would like the boy to interact with his environment in a constructive manner. Maybe you should be a little bit more specific? Have the boy assess his current situation. I'm afraid I can't have the boy do that. Tell him to do it yourself. Very well. Okay. That instruction does not do anything at the moment. He's trying to make him go forward on the page. Please turn the console around. Increasingly sophomoric. Also, you spelled salad in there. Yeah, it just continues. Click this. Large platform. Good grief. What is it, boy? The alchemister created the apple, or the tree that sprouted it, rather, right in time to save you from destruction. You're not sure if you can say the same for your neighborhood, though. You wonder what happened to your dad? This right. What's that? It's weird speech. It looks different now. After you bit the apple, your whole house seemed to be transported somewhere. Then the apple disappeared and the kernel sprite underwent a transformation. Aside from the change in appearance, the transformation doesn't seem to have any relevant ramifications. Yet. Door? Open this door and walk through it. I detest this. Disregard it. The Harlequin painting? You have the sentiment in common with John then, I suppose. Yeah, he doesn't like clowns. How about that? That man with the humorous spectacle. Admire him. Oh, Michael Sarah, your warm smile is shining a beacon in these dark times. Is there anything else back here? Go back through the door. Can I? Yeah. Oh, it's a different door. Oh, okay. Observe the box. The bunny is not in the box. I said the bunny is not in the box. Why couldn't the bunny be in the box? Adventure in Outer Space. This movie is... Okay, this movie is really bad. Not even you can defend it. We've been meaning to take this poster down, actually. Most people say the second one was not as great as the first, but you'd feel just the opposite. It was really cool and sort of gross how they hosed each other down with the slime that made people angry. TG refers to this film as Nasty Manbro Bukkake Theater, whatever the hell that means. This door, explain this. Rose sure did his number on your house, but you guess she did manage to save your life. You guess. Is that John Cusack? Oh, that's funny, so that implies that, like, Mayor of Cantown knows John Cusack. Yeah, you guess so, but damn, that door be covering up your man cage for something serious. That ain't cool. Inspect this ghastly man and his boy. Fred Savage has a punchable face, your ass. More like a talented young actor's face who you'd want to hang out with if you got the chance, and also if you're not a fully grown man now. Anyway, the thought of monsters looking in your house scares the shit out of you, which is why this movie's so awesome. But the fact that those monsters could also be your best friend is what makes it doubly awesome. Can you go in here? Can you touch things? The floor? Sprite? Computer. Investigate this device. John, are you there? Seems you're still connected to the internet. Rose is trying to get in touch with you. You will reply in a moment once you have fully assessed your situation. Acquire this small Persian rug. It's a towel, dumbass. It will probably come in handy for cleaning up this weird mess in your room. Not that it's a huge priority, though. Colonel Sassacre! This funny man text. You should ignore it. Just looking at the cover cracks you up. What a great book. Harry Anderson is your hero, and Mike Cavanagh's glowing treatment of the man does him every bit of justice. I'll have to give this another read soon. Mysterious machine. This huge sewing machine. What use is it? What use is it? It seems to be cutting off in this website. The punch cards seem to contain the instructions for carving a totem of a certain shape. I guess maybe other punch cards will produce different shapes? It bears further exploration. Take the card. Oh, just the sewing machine. Okay. Sewing machine, can you click on the calendar behind there? No. Window. Look through the window. At least your tire swing remains unmolested. A tree without a tire swing is like a house without a surrounding neighborhood, I guess. Can't click on anything else in there? No. Okay. I'll go back through here. The hallway. Where did I come from? Up here? Yes. Okay. Strange blue vase. Is the piece of Kirksite you carved with the totem lathe. When its contours were scanned, the alchemister was able to produce that tree. How odd. Large platform. What is it before? Yeah, okay. There's something else out here, though. The window, the roof. Oh, down here, maybe? Peek over the railing. Getting close to the railing makes you a little nervous. It's a long way down. Okay. So now, did the room, did these posters. Let's go down here. I'm not fond of this smug fellow. The man, the myth, the legend. What do you have up your sleeve there, Anderson? Look at that poker face. He's not telling a soul. Okay. Go in there now. What's this room? Oh, that's the bathroom. Your plumbing appears faulty. Man, Rose did such a piss-poor job of fixing the bathroom. It would almost certainly be a mistake to try to use the toilet. You guess you could just go pee over the edge of the cliff. Your plumbing appears faulty. Yep. Clown rug. Sink. Window. Peer through the window. This window. At least your backyard was salvaged too, sort of. Open this. Your dad's room is still locked. Okay. Then we go down here, I guess is the only way to go. No, 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 keep moving. Believe me, you have no intention of turning your head to observe this dreadful thing. More plans. What is the meaning of this rubbish? Okay, even you have to admit, this one's pretty funny. Yeah. The thing on the couch. Get out of the way, Sprite. Small dessert tray. Useless. In retrospect, it was pretty funny when your dad pied you like that. Got you again by the old man. Stow lump of soot for future use, boy. That stuff is really dirty and you don't want it. Besides, you have it on good authority that a significant portion of it is comprised of asbestos. Move this absurd edifice and exit your house, boy. This thing weighs a ton. You'd honestly be surprised if the game cursor could lift it, or at least not without a significant expensive grist. Of all the places for Rose to drop the infernal thing, more than you ever feel... What's the word you're looking for? Of course, house-trapped. Destroy these diminutive soldiers of merriment. It hardly seems worth it to go to the bother. You doubt you could get much for them at a garage sale, even. Maybe a grubby palm of pennies at a kick in the nuts for the whole lot of them. Topple this urn immediately. That would be disrespectful to your Nana. You just won't do it. Or not intentionally, at least. You consider that it is fortunate she's no longer around to witness this sorrow. On the other hand, you would probably benefit from her elderly wisdom now. Vile, pay no mind to this filth. What is he even doing here? Playing with a ball or something? Clowns are stupid. Okay. Here, boy, in here. This is a mess, boy. You're so glad your dad wasn't watching you when you did this. He never would have let you hear the end of it. Inspect this merry band of performers. Cirque du Soleil once fell out of restraining order against your father. You were never so embarrassed in your life. Operate this instrument. That's cool they have the actual official sheet music for this. I'm composing. I'm being a composer. My little hand cursor. You play your favorite haunting refrain. Disregard this nonsense. Your dad used this stuff sometimes to dazzle you with his silly vaudevillian escapades. Really, you couldn't roll your eyes hard enough at this corny act. It's dark out there. Can't see anything for miles. Man is an imbecile. Ignore him. He's alright. Looks like he doesn't take himself too seriously. He knows how to have a good time. You can only assume your dad hung it crooked to make it look more whimsical. Seek the riches he guards below. This one offers a friendly wave, but yeah, this is really just another stupid piece of shit. I see treachery in his eyes. Oh, he doesn't look so bad. Boy who is John, do as I say. Oh, that's loud. To me, anyway. What would you like Boy who is John to do? Open the iron vault. You don't know the combination. Disregard this nonsense. Yeah. Can... Consume nut. You would, but you're not sure if this dark realm has any hospitals. Yeah, John's allergic to peanuts. Okay, kitchen. This way through the doors like you see in a cowboy saloon. Plunder chest. Would you like to play a game? Would you like to play a game? Sniff vegetable. Doesn't smell like anything. This book is too big for a young, stupid boy. Colonel Sassacre's is your favorite book, almost as favorite as The Wise Guy. They're both your favoriteest of all time. Betty Crocker. Sample powdered uncooked dessert. Back, ye miserable wench! Stay thy choking airborne particulates of temptation! Examine this artwork. Your dad was so proud when you do this, he hung it up immediately and it's stayed there ever since. That was 1 week ago. This stuff on the floor. Pekin bowl of goo. Wherever your dad went, he seems to have left in a hurry. For all the absurdities you have to put up with, you sure wish you were here right now. Oh yeah, stuff on the floor. Ink. Examine the smeared substance. Is this oil? You wonder what happened to you here. Where's your dad? Open the door. In here. This is no time for laundry. You're right. Thank you for being sensible about it. Every time it's time for laundry. Open these and rifle through them for good. You don't give a shit about what's in there. Probably nothing you'd be inclined to use now anyway. I give a shit about what's in there. Peek out the window. Exit. Now we're in the yard. Ponder lawn amusement. Your childhood nemesis, the spring-mounted pogo ride, sadly was not swallowed up by the void. It will have to wait another day for its comeuppance. Admire the wall-mounted gadget. Through some mysterious force, your house still seems to be powered, even though the wires are severed. Quite bizarre. Is anything over here? Boy, engage this mangled trapeze display. Looks like your swing set is toast. You relive fond memories in a moment of sorrow. Is anything over here? There's a tree. Claim the dangling tree bubble. The trick handcuffs are still there, thank God. And no, you're not about to try to claim them just now. That would not be fun. Can you peek in the window once you're outside? No. It's been so long since I actually played any of, like, Flash stuff. Control T. Right. There's something fun in this, so Control T. Well, that just opened a new tab for me. See where I do that without opening a new tab? Control Shift T? No, that was just this. Yeah, I can't do anything. Okay, so I think that's all there is right now. Boy, quit all this squirting around. For the last time, this boy's name is John. Fine, John, return to your quarters. You go back to your bedroom, tiptoeing around this weird petroleum-based sludge. Now, John, respond to your friend unit. Joe Pesterlon. John, are you there? Hey, yeah, I'm here. And not dead, I think. I know. I've been watching you scramble through the house like a lunatic. You should have answered me sooner. Oh man, sorry. I was looking around for my dad, and I can't find him anywhere. Have you seen him? No, I'm sure he'll turn up. We have more important things to address right now. Yeah, like, where am I? I don't know that either, but I've determined your neighborhood was destroyed by the meteor. Wherever you were transported, it saved you from the impact. I've been reading reports in the news. Over the last few days, there have been many smaller meteor collisions with people's homes around the world, and they seem to be getting bigger. Yours was the biggest they've identified so far. Wow, okay. So then I guess if this is all the game's doing, then the point is for us to save the world? Perhaps? Then we better get moving and figure this game out. Yes, but wait, we should retrieve your PDA, yet again. It will help you keep tabs on each other while you investigate. I think I can get you closer to it if I can replenish our grist supply somewhat. There may be a way to recycle some of what we already used. Okay. I'll meet you on the balcony. Wait, Rose, one thing. What? You never even wished me a happy birthday. Hello? I was working on something to send you, but I was running late with it. I didn't want you to think that I believed meager well wishes alone would suffice for the occasion. That said, happy birthday, John. Oh geez, that is silly. Anyway, thanks. First, take the fabric item on the floor there. The towel. Why? Oh well, you're the boss. You capture logs to the towel. What now? Do as the purple text says. To the balcony. John makes his way to the balcony per your awkwardly worded request. Wait, take that. The blue wobbly thing. You whimsically decide to capture log the totem which was used to create the apple tree earlier. John, recycle the grist as was dictated by your cohort. John cannot do anything with the grist as of this moment. That is up to the suburb player. I see. Yes, that will suffice. Rose deletes the perfectly generic object. 6 units of build grist are restored to your grist cache. Rose expends the grist to drag a new plank from the balcony in the direction of the PDA. John, run across the precarious platform swiftly. John isn't sure about that. It's a long way down. Boy, I said make haste on the narrow catwalk. John is very nervous about the idea, and the strident tone of your commands is starting to make him a little upset. Fine, proceed as your level of comfort dictates. Slowly, slowly. You cautiously walk within range of the PDA. Rose retrieves it. Now, take it. You grab the PDA, launching one of the Harlequin figurines into the night. You can kiss that one goodbye. Serious business. Oh yes, read from the bottom up for these. Well-pressed attire. Submitting inquiry of concern of a cataclysmic event. Pipe fan 413 reply. Grey slack 616. Pipe fan 413. Status of health. Wardrobe. Fedora freak. Neighboring house struck by flaming projectile. In light of fire hazard, evacuating house of all expensive garments. Office urchins 1280. Good luck, Fedora freak. Salvage as many hats as is practical. Well-pressed attire. Fedora freak. You are in our thoughts, along with Pipe fan 413 and his enviable collection of pipes. Fedora freak. Thank you all. Report. Most hats removed from danger. Tie next. Just one command will suffice, thanks. It looks like you're not the only one trying to locate your father after the disaster. Yeah, so Pipe fan 413 is John's dad, and Fedora freak is like his literal next-door neighbor. These boring men are uninteresting. John, are you okay? You seem a bit tentative. I'm fine, I guess. Since I got here, I feel compelled to do these weird things that I don't really want to do, by some kind of voice that I can't really even hear. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Perhaps the early symptoms of an anxiety disorder, like post-traumatic stress. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Well, if you can pull yourself together, there are a few more things we should try. Like prototyping the kernel spread again, if possible. We should hurry. My laptop battery won't last forever. Okay, we'll go back inside. No, don't do that. Hop off his ledge into the car. What? No, that sounds incredibly dangerous. Next page, next page, next page. Now you're just being a pest. Which turnip truck did you tumble out of anyway? Who are you? Years in the future, but not many. An unsealed tunnel welcomes hot desert air into its stagnant depths. There's just a bunch of panels. There's not really any text, but it's like going down into a tunnel, into this mechanical sort of area. And we see the wayward vagabond. We don't know that's his name yet, but that's who he is. And he can see John. Boy, you there, boy. So he's typing things into a literal keyboard. There we go. An examination of the basics, so continuation of Rose's GameFAQs suburb thing. Upon connecting with the client user, you, the server user, will be met with a control panel allowing you to manipulate your co-player's environment. You will find that you are allowed to deploy 4 items at no expense. 3 of these are rather large machines, and 1 is a punch card. It's quite possible that you've already deployed some of these items before reading this. If this is the case, and you have activated the machine called the Crux-Extruder such that it displays a countdown, you must proceed to section A100 of this walkthrough immediately. The life of the client user depends on it, and if your co-player has activated this device in your environment too, then yours does as well. But if not, please refrain from doing anything with the Crux-Extruder aside from merely deploying it. This will buy us some time to think things through properly and to go over the basics of the game before you find your soft, easily punctured head in the jaws of the lion. As mentioned, there are 4 items to consider, each playing a role in the process which appears to have a singular purpose, to manufacture objects out of thin air. The designers of this game, judging by the language used, regard this process as a sort of alchemy. This may allude to the complexities in the production process yet to present themselves, but for now, the variety of objects you are able to create remains quite limited. The items in question are the Crux-Extruder, again, tread lightly with this one, the Totem Lathe, the Alchemeter, and the Pre-Punch card. I will describe how these devices work in conjunction with each other, and I will use the analogy of having a key made at a hardware store to help you understand. First, deploy all these objects in a convenient proximity to each other. Be sure not to block doors or pathways with them. You can always revise the dimensions of rooms to make space for them. But I'd advise against this, or even experimenting with the function. Doing so comes at the expense of build grist, a commodity which appears to be a premium at the onset, and you'd be best advised to save it for later. Yeah, just make sure my sound is good and everything, you guys can hear me. Should have done that earlier before I forgot. The Crux-Extruder. Removing the lid signals the moment your life becomes a great whirling batshit pandemonium, somewhat resembling the chaos of an especially ethnic wedding. Somewhere, a soused uncle deliberately shatters china on the floor, muddy livestock is decorated, and then lost track of. The question, whose meal is this, at times can be heard over the din. This is now your reality. But aside from that, it marks the beginning of the process I'm about to describe. The countdown begins. Yes, also an entity called the kernel sprite is released, but neither of these things are all that relevant to this process, to my knowledge. More on those things later. What is relevant is the unlidded Crux-Extruder's ability to dispense Cruxite dowels. It will dispense at least one, though I suspect it is capable of producing more, given parameters I'm not yet familiar with. In my key-making analogy, these dowels represent the uncarved pieces of metal which the hardware store employee retrieves from a drawer or a rack, and sets about carving into a key. The 2 following items are needed to do the carving. The pre-punched card. It is a simple Siladex card containing an item. There is evidence to suggest the specific item it contains is variable from session to session. The card I deployed contained a blue apple. Yours may be different. It shouldn't matter, hopefully. Additionally, the card, as you may guess, is punched, like the one used with antique computing systems. The pattern of holes compromises data, which I believe corresponds to the instructions for creating the item the card contains. That it is pre-punched suggests there's a way to punch an unpunched card, possibly imprinting it with the data for the item it contains, though no mechanism for this has presented itself yet. But the data on the card cannot be used to create an item directly. There's a middleman. The middleman is the totem lathe. This is essentially the key carving machine. It will carve into your Cruxite dowel the patterns of grooves and contours, the sort which makes a key unique. The instructions for this pattern are supplied by the punch card, which is inserted into the lathe pre-activation to configure its chisels. Once the dowel is carved, you have a totem serving as your key, which can then be used to unlock the card item through the alchemitor. But at this point I will diverge from my key-making analogy and switch to a barcode analogy, which is not a terribly strenuous leap to make, since the concepts of a key and a barcode are essentially the same, one being a unique pattern of grooves, the other of varying black lines. The alchemitor. If you place a Cruxite dowel, carved or uncarved, onto the alchemitor's small pedestal, its robotic arm will scan the contours with a laser, hence the barcode analogy. This is the machine's way of reading the data originally imprinted from the card and transforming the data into a physical object. Though typically this is not done without expense, I believe. An uncarved dowel results in the creation of a perfectly generic object, which is a seemingly useless green cube. However, it costs 2 units of build grist to make, and I do not advise you to waste resources on it. There appear to me many other varieties of grist, ostensibly used in combinations to create different sorts of items, which possibly offer some insight into the game's use of the term alchemy. But quite conveniently, there's an exception to this. Creating the item on the pre-punch card costs nothing. This is good, because creating this item turns out to be essential. Now that you know this, you can in your own time begin the process. Once you initiate it, naturally there's no going back, so best be prepared. But you probably shouldn't drag your feet too long. As I mentioned earlier, this is your only means of escape. When you're ready, be prepared to follow the steps in the next section swiftly. So your crux shooter is ticking. Do this to live. Yes, raining even harder. In the distance, meteorites fall with greater frequency. The fire in the forest burns so hot, not even the rain is putting it out. Rose, check status of battery. Your laptop battery is alright for now, but it won't be for long. If the power in the house doesn't come back on, you can think of one last resort, the small backup generator stored behind the mausoleum. Prototype sprite with Betty Crocker box. What? Oh man, you're going to use that? That sucks. What a stupid idea. We have to hurry along. I'm running low on battery power. But the cake mix, that's so dumb. I doubt it matters. We might as well just use any old crap lying around. Fine, I guess. The sprite is playing hard to get. You guess that's what you get for originally prototyping it with something that engenders mischief and pranksterism. Do the potted vegetable instead. It looks delicious. Pipe down, you. This is Rose's decision, not yours. Rose, prototype sprite with Sassacre text. Oh yes, sweet. Now we're talking. See if you can distract it. I'll try to sneak up on it. John, flail about in a distracting manner. The sprite finds the distracting manner in which you flail about to be rather distracting. The pesky sprite eludes you again. Not even the Colonel Sassacre himself can outfox it. And narrowly missing with your attempt to create the Colonel sprite, you drop the massive tomb. The entire house rattles under the astonishing girth of the book. In the other room, Nana's ashes dump into the sprite, which is caught unawares by the dousing. Inspect Hag Ash Incident. You find the sacred urn toppled again. This time you're quite sure it wasn't your fault. The sprite is nowhere to be found. Remove Crookstader from doorway. Aw man, where'd it go? I can't find it anywhere in the house. I can't find it anywhere in the house. No need to worry about it. The next thing we should do is get your server copy of the game from the car. You need to connect to my client so I can repeat your steps and presumably join you wherever you are. We should do this quickly, before my house burns down. What, there's a fire? There will be soon. Oh geez, so move this thing already. It looks like it requires a lot of grist to move. I don't have enough to relocate the door either. How much do you have? 0? Oh, Thought about jumping into the car from the ledge earlier. That sounds really dangerous. I have a better idea. Meet me upstairs. Do again, as the purple words say. You're about to head upstairs, but you thought you heard something behind you. It was faint, but you could swear it was a small, light-hearted chuckle, along the lines of a spirited hoo hoo hoo. Ignore the woman's antics. You're not sure if you ever saw a woman, let alone any of her hypothetical antics, but whatever it is you might have caught a glimpse of, it sure gave you the willies. You head upstairs on your way to the balcony. Your PDA is acting up again. Indulge the device, but be curt with it. Hey bro, check out, I'm working on some new rhymes. Dude, I don't have time for your nerdy raps. Come on, this is Hellsaville, just listen. Sounds like you don't even believe that I was about to get blown up, but I really was. But now I'm some weird dimension what Suburb sent me to or something. And now on top of that, I think I'm being haunted by my dead grandma. Huh? For real? Yeah, it's true, but I'll talk to you later about it. I think I could drop some sick rhymes about all this. Man, see, I just don't think all this rapping stuff is really as cool as you think it is. No, this'll be dope. Check it. No, I have to go. Bye. Wait. Armageddon's getting waged on us, but I'm getting armed and dangerous. Sending men in space for saving us to see which play is more courageous. Ben or Bruce, dude, reach a truce. Put their blow shoots to use and upsuck it. Affleck's sacrifice would have been suffice. Ah, fuck it. Bro be a stained glass saint up on a cross getting hella Christ plagiarist. Bruce like off of that crucifix, enough of this fucking savior fuss. Restrained his ass per McLean Redux while Buscemi remained dangerous. When a plane gone astray pays off a wasted craterous ashtray catering to layers of Matt McConaughey's vague remainder dust. Wait, McConaughey wasn't even any of these meteor movies, was he? I'll have to make a rap about, I don't know, Morgan Freeman or something, being the president. It'll be called Obama Made It So That No One Gives a Shit About Black Presidents in Movies Anymore. See, you've got me to fill what's going on, so I have to have something to rap about besides all your dumb shit movies. Alright, I cannot rap Dave's things for shit. I need a drink. There are too many extremely silly made-up words in there. Also, him just flubbing up his own made-up words. Enough strange poetry from the red text. You head out to the balcony to find out what Rose has in mind. She's messaging you again. The purple test is less irrational than the red text. I'm lifting the car up to the balcony. Whoa, okay. Once it is up, retrieve the game. Then I'll put it back down on the driveway. But the door is locked. Then break a window. But it's my dad's car. It's just a window, and this is sort of an emergency. Otherwise, I promise to handle the car with velvet gloves. All right. Rose, pick up the car. And up she goes. And connection lost. Oop. And down goes the car. Down she goes, never to be seen again, maybe. Through the clouds. John's very upset. Ridiculous folly, inexcusable. You're inclined to agree, but hey, accidents happen. You double-check your PDA to make sure if Rose is really gone. Indeed, this seems to be the case. TG is still pestering you, of course, but another chum is now logged in as well. What color are the words this chum says? I'm back! Oh, hi. I went to investigate the explosion I heard. Was it by chance a meteor? Yes, how did you know? Oh man, it's kind of a long story. Anyway, are you okay? How did it blow up? Did it blow up your yard or start a fire or anything? No, I'm fine. It landed a pretty good ways from my house, and I went to look at it, and it's pretty big, but Beck doesn't want me to go near it, so I came home. He seems to think it's dangerous. Well, gosh, he's probably right. Anyway, what have you been up to, John? Oh, did you get my package yet? Yeah, but I was trying to get it, but Rose dropped my car into a weird, spooky bottomless pit, and the package was in the car, and I'm really sorry about that. Oh, no. Wow, okay, I guess I should start at the beginning. See, a meteor blew up my neighborhood. That's terrible, John. I'm so sorry. But I'm okay. My house is too, sort of. The game I was telling you about, Suburb, which I was playing with Rose, sort of transported me somewhere at the last minute. But now I'm trapped here, and it's weird and dark, and I can't find my dad, and I just lost the car and my copy of the game in the pit, and I think I have to save the world from apocalypse. Well, it sounds really crazy and kind of scary, but it also sounds kind of exciting. I don't know, John. Maybe this is your destiny. If anyone can save the world, I think it's probably you. Wow, you think so? Yes. Well, okay, but it's not even that simple. I was about to connect to Rose to help transport her and save her from meteors and fire and stuff, but she lost battery power and I lost the game disc, so I think I just have to get TG to use his copy to save her. But that jackass won't shut up and stop rapping and stuff. He is so silly. Yeah, anyway, I should talk to him about it, so be right back. The green text was attractive. Now view the red text again. When the film crew zooms where the president's at, I'm like, if that dude's black, I'll eat my hat. Turns out he is, so we're all, damn, director's got gumption. Like, we'll all flip our shit if he ain't shining shoes or something. It's called free emancipation. If it's not press election, it's got ascension. And Bruce Almighty, whoops, different Bruce from the one I just mentioned. Ah! Can't explain to me why this ain't condescension. I'll think to shit a brick. Not even he can convey the intention with his quick-spun wit. Rather defray all his tension, sit on his lap while he whittles a splint. And some guy's eyes what he does and patronizes. I guess negrosity's the mother of invention. Stop rapping a second, you horse's ass. I have something important to talk about. What's up? Rose is in trouble and she needs help. I was going to connect with her with Suburb, but I lost my copy. Okay. Also, she lost battery power. If she can't get back up and running, she'll need someone with the game to get her out there before her house burns down. So I think you should use your copy of the game to help her. My copy? That's gonna be tough. Why? I lost it. It's a stupid story and I'd rather not talk about it. Should be embarrassing you. I thought you said you had two. Well, yeah, one is my brother's copy. Oh, okay, we'll get his then. Alright, but he's not gonna be happy about that. Whatever. Also, you might want to read Rose's walkthrough to get up to speed on this. Oh man, what? Nothing really. Look, all I'm saying is the girl tends to lay it on kind of thick, you know. Rolls eyes. Your laptop is out of battery power. There's only one thing left to do. Time to make your way to the backup generator. Rose, knit laptop cozy to shield your laptop from the rain. That would be such a waste of time. Besides, you already knitted one a while ago. You retrieve it from your knitting bag and apply it to your laptop. You capture log the laptop plus cozy. Ah. My voice does not want to talk words today. I don't know why. Ugh. I feel like I keep slurring over everything I say, and I'm not even drunk. Rose, equip Grimoire to Strife Specipus. That would be incredibly ill-advised. There are some dark forces you just don't want to mess around with. You understand this better than most. You put that book down. Ooh, death, death, doomy, doomy, death, blood, death. Rose, recapture log your items. You grab the knitting bag and the grimoire in that order. It's always a logistical puzzle with your tree modus. The tree auto-balances, leaving your knitting bag accessible to the root card. Rose, allocate knitting needles to Strife Specipus. You feel a lot more comfortable with this as a weapon. You're so handy with those needles, you feel like you could probably use them to fillet a swordfish. You lose the root card in the process of severing the tree. Hey, careful with all that stuff. Rose, knit plush cuddle Cthulhu to soothe nerves. That would be a preposterous waste of time. Besides, you're quite sure you've never heard of this creature called Cthulhu before. There are, however, many other specimens of the zoologically dubious you're familiar with, such as... Rose, consult the grimoire. Cthulhu, the foul patrician of misery. To hear his mammoth belly gurgle is to know the epoch of joy has come to an abrupt end. Oh good, I'm tongue-twisted today and I have to say all these words. And Narubuglith, shame-beast king of the grotesquary, writhe lord of the moist beyondhood, hearing his melodious chirps and tongue clicks causes one's bones to explode. Alright, next one. And of course there's Algloth, the deep one. Whenever he grinds his teeth, all the children of a random galaxy somewhere will frown continuously for a 9,000-year span. He is the first and smallest of the smaller gods, appointed in servitude of a vile, unfathomable pantheon of middling gods, which caters to the whims of the noble circle of horror terrors, an omniscient, omnipotent order of the elite few, forever cloaked in the darkness of the furthest ring. And then there's this page. There's this strange page containing some rather mysterious notes on summoning procedures. You've never been quite sure what these diagrams were getting at. Oh god, it's those Windows portals. That's what it is. So the ones that go, oh, excuse me, teleport into the void and stuff. It's how to create a window. That's neat. So there's actually some actual connection between Windows and the void and teleporting and all that. Okay, Rose, take items and proceed downstairs. You recapture log everything you want it to appear in the tree and head downstairs. You figure that's enough dilly-dallying. Time to get a move on. S page. You wonder if this rain will ever let up. It's driven since the month began, perhaps long enough to forget its purpose. It no longer even knows to assuage fire. Somewhere a zealous god threads these strings between the clouds and the earth, preparing for a symphony it fears impossible to play. And so it threads on, delaying the rays of the conductor's baton. How you hate the season. April's the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of a dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. American sports legend Charles Barkley. Rose, confront mother in the hall. Surely your mother is lurking nearby. You should be prepared for an unpleasant confront. What? Oh, psych. That happened literally as I got to that part in the text, so. Do the thing. Oh, psych. Nope, we're going to Dave. There's this really cool dude, okay? He's standing around being all chill like cool dudes are known to do sometimes. A cool dude like this probably has a really cool name. But he probably won't just tell you what it was if you asked. He'd be way too busy for that. Busy being totally sweet. But you could always try to guess his name. And if you were right, he might nod ever so slightly. That's a cool dude's way of letting you know there just might be hope for you yet. Enter name. Insufferable Shink! This guy doesn't have time for this sort of bullshit. Try again. Dave Stratton. Little twinkle in his glasses. Examine room. Your name is Dave. It is an unseasonably warm April day. Your bedroom window is open to let some air in, and your fan is cranked. Arguably even more cranked than would be your fly beats, which brings us to your variety of interests. A cool dude like you is sure to have plenty. You have a penchant for spinning out unbelievably ill jams with your turntables and mixing gear. You like to rave about bands no one's ever heard of but you. You collect weird dead things preserved in various ways. You are an amateur photographer and operate your own makeshift darkroom. You maintain a number of ironically humorous blogs, websites, and social networking profiles. And if the inspiration strikes, you won't hesitate to drop some fat rhymes on a mofo and represent. What will you do? Dave, quickly retrieve arms from cinder blocks. Nah. Dave, get the damn bed and save your friend's life. The notion strikes you as nonsensical. You can't imagine how a video game could save someone's life, and in any case, you're quite sure no one is in any danger. Anyway, these are your copies of the beta you received in the mail recently. You've labeled them with your name in bold red print to distinguish them from your bro's copies, who labeled his in kind. Neither of you really gives a shit about this game or has any intention of playing it, but you'll be damned if you let them get in the way of your campaign of one-upmanship. Dave, bleat like a goat and piss on your turntable. You would never consider allowing any fluid to even remotely resembling urine to touch your beloved turntables. That would risk breaking them, and a world without the gift of your godly science just doesn't sound like a place you want any part of. While you're at it, you might as well wipe out human civilization with a meteor or something ridiculous like that, which will probably never happen. That sort of thing only happens in stupid idiot movies for stupid idiots. You will, however, contemplate bleeding like a goat for ironically humorous purposes at a later date. Dave, examine that closet. This is your closet. This is where you keep a lot of your crap. Like that box and that bottle of... What is that? Is that... Dave, check the blue box. This is the package that your friend John Egbert sent you for your 13th birthday a little while ago. It now contains nothing except a note and a certificate of authenticity vouching for the genuine Hollywood memorabilia which the box originally contained, and which you are now wearing to be ironic but also to be incredibly cool in its way somehow intangibly related to the ironic nature of the accessory. You find it sort of exasperating to explain these subtleties to people. The box also includes a signed photo of Ben Stiller, which now proudly hangs above your closet, proudly and ironically. Ironic that there's proud in this closet. He's gay! Ah! Dave, take box. You captcha-logs the box through your hash map fetch modus. Your modus's current hash function resolves the index by valuing each consonant at 2 and each vowel at 1. The total is divided by your number of cards and the remainder is in the index. Box equals 2 plus 1 plus 2 equals 5. 5 modulus 10 is 5. The box is captcha-logged in card 5. Dave, examine jar of unknown yellow substance in the closet. Oh, hell yes, it is an unopened container of apple juice. You thought you were all out. It's like fucking Christmas up in here. This is so great, you've got to tell John about this immediately. He'll be so excited. Dave, take juice. You captcha-log the juice into card 7. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 divided by 10 equals 7. Dave, access Petrosum and pester John. In addition to letting your buddy know about this outstanding juice windfall, you'll figure you'll wish him a happy birthday while you're at it. In your own cool, sort of roundabout way, of course. Good thing you looked at that box he sent you, or you might have forgotten. You also might as well ask him about that beta. The kid's been harping about it for weeks. It would be cool if it came on his birthday. He'd be one happy camper. Complete bullshit. Ill beats. Hey, so what sort of insane loot did you rake in today? I think this is like... Yes, we read this log technically already from John's point of view. Dave, go online and view sites indicative of your interests. Hephaestus. You open the Hephaestus web browser and direct it to your ironically maintained blog where you post monthly satirical reviews of Game Bro magazine. Your latest post is a review of the March issue. Oh man, when this heady volume of unabridged awesome hit my doorstep, it made a sort of thunderclap. Oh. The kind I'm sure Moses heard when God dropped stone tablets containing a review of a game involving the ambiguous marriage of insane stunts and extreme hunger management solutions for dudes on the go. It's like you see that little bag of chips there? You just grab it and go, bro, and keep thrashing shit up. I am so hella pumped of this. There are some obvious... There's some obvious questions just like just how outrageous are these snacks? Will popular beverages play a role? And how critical will they be in your quest to obtain absolute sweetness? Will this game land in the coveted but elusive 5 hats out of 5 hats? In a new tab, you open another one of your sites, a webcomic ironically maintained through a satirical cipher vaguely similar to what of your blog. It's called Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. You have legions of devoted fans, most of whom are just totally convinced of your creative persona's sincerity, which is just how you like it. Dave, check the latest page of the Midnight Crew. You figure as long as you're chilling at your computer, you might as well see how the new MSPA story is going. You haven't looked at it in a while. Midnight Crew. You are members of the sinister gang called the Midnight Crew. Your nefarious plots are serpentine in complexity. Your schemes convoluted. You are planning a heist in your underground hideout. What will you do? Use Occam's razor on plans and schemes. Spade Slicks uses Occam's razor to carve a circular hole into the heist plans, freeing it from the knife. You wonder what moron would jam the knife so hard into the table in the first place. Spade Slick. Climb ladder and exit hideout. Implement nefarious plots. You push against the manhole cover, but it seems some unbelievable jackass has parked your getaway van on top of it. A familiar feeling stirs. The feeling is overwhelming, soul-blackening rage. It's the sort of rage that'll make a man feel totally justified in opening an unnecessarily elaborate assortment of fancy blades. Ah! I cannot read words, and I don't know why. Skip ahead 100 pages or so. You don't remember where you last left off, so you jump way ahead. You always forget to save your place in the story. It looks like tempers have become short in this pressure cooker already. You speculate that the tipping point may have been an ill-advised motion for a game of 52 pickup. Hey, there's a hand. There's a weird squiggly arm hand in there. Dave, save your place, read it later. Even though the adventure began recently, it's already over 3,000 pages long. You just don't have time for this bullshit. You'll catch up later. Besides, it looks like someone's pestering you. You're pretty sure you know who it is. Dave, answer chum. In some cultures, the persistent refusal of a lady's invitation to play a game with her would be a sign of wanton disrespect. Either that or flagrant homosexuality. What? I don't know. No, look, I'm busy, okay? I've got a lot of shit to do off my plate. I am sort of a big deal, okay? I know. Sometimes I wonder how you were ever allowed to pay for meals in restaurants. It must be hard to keep a low profile when you're always overhearing odd voices whisper, "It's that guy who has a blog." Seriously, dudes be worshipping me left and right. I can't hardly walk down the street without stepping over torsos of the prostrate. Navigating the urban landscape, I'm sure, is difficult enough without an obstacle course of deferential flesh and skyward asses. Perhaps adapting the art of parkour to your unique environment would help. Yeah, I mean, damn. Like, there's this scruffy little shit at my feet, an orphan or something, I don't know. Face flush on the pavement. I'm like, dude, you listening for a stampede of buffalo or something? He braves to look at me, then gives my shoes a little kiss and scurries the fuck off. Heavy is the crown. Yeah, not kicking Oliver Twist in the fucking face every day is my gift to the world, I guess. Breathtaking magnanimity. Among other things, I just give and fucking give. Indeed, nary a jewel tumbles from your wish box of daily exploits, for which I imagine does not sparkle. Oh, for fuck's sakes, you're just lobbying me to play that dumb game. Baseless accusation! Look, I am telling you, Egbert is all about that game. He will play it with you and probably be tickled retarded about it. I know this very well. I cannot hasten his mail's delivery, however. Yeah, I'll hassle him about it. I'll hassle him some more about it. And look, how about this? If you ever find yourself in a position where your life depends on me playing that piece of shit game, then I'll play. Will that make you happy? More than you know. It perfectly mollifies my grief over the demise of chivalry. John, what are you doing? Stop doing nothing. Meanwhile, in the present, in a place where the present may be a concept of dubious merit, John is spacing out. But a vague and forceful thought jolts into attention. Or maybe it's that bumping sound coming from the other side of the door? What is that? Bump, 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 bump. A thick, unpleasant fluid pools from beneath the door. Troubling. Investigate this. There's a trail of this fluid in the hall leading to your room. Dave, play some hauntingly sick beats. You've had enough of the computer for a while. You feel like you've been messing around on it all week. It's time to get your jam on. You pull up your trusty Akai MPC 1000 sampler and prepare to get sick nasty. Left knob volume for current sample. Hell yeah! This is actually kind of fun to play with. Alright, now it's becoming a cacophonous mess. Dave, take a sip of the apple juice, despite what John said. Those beets are so fresh they belong in the produce aisle, is what you're talking about. Soccer moms be thumping that shit for ripeness like melons, know what I'm saying? After beets that fresh, it would be a crime not to reward yourself with a celebratory swig. You can't do it. John's got you all twisted up inside now. All you can think about is Mandel's gross monster piss. Damn you, Egbert. You recaptulog the juice. Dave, allocate sword to Strife Specibus. Your Strife Specibus is already allocated with the blade kind Abstratus. There is no need to allocate it. You can wield your sweet ninja sword as a weapon once it is in your Strife deck, but you will have to captulog it first before moving it there. Dave, captulog sword. The ninja sword occupies the same card as the juice, expelling the juice from your Siladex. It splashes all over your turntables and your copies of the beta. Ah! Get a towel or something. You head out to get a towel from the bathroom across the hall. You glance at one of the many radical puppets in your bro's collection and nod in approval. Is there anything not awesome about your bro? No, you think not. You enter the bathroom. There's a damp towel on the floor you can probably use for this crisis. You stop to pay a little respect to one of your bro's boys up there. Hey, little man, how's it hanging? Dave, capture log damp towel. You take the damp towel, expelling the box. Dave, search the bathroom for something slightly less damp. Nah, you just decided to wring this towel out in the toilet to make it less damp. It is now just a towel. Dave, take towel. You take the towel and grab the box again while you're at it. Dave, clean up the juice. You clean up the juice with the towel and hang up the damp beta envelopes in your line to dry off. In the breeze of the fan, the betas jostle near the open window. This arrangement is a little disconcerting. If they fell out, it sure would be a stupid way to lose them. Dave, turn off the fan. The crisis is easily averted. You can't imagine it will ever resurface later in any way, shape, or form. That beta is as good as yours, forever. You should probably go past your Egbert again. You wonder if you found the beta yet. You might also chat with him about your respective Silidices and Feshmodi if the topic happens to come up. You wonder if he is anywhere near as smooth with his Silidex as you are. Probably not. It's probably not even humanly possible. Suddenly a rambunctious crow flies in the open window and snatches the beta, possibly to make a nest with, or maybe just for the sake of being a brainless, feathery asshole. You yell at the bird. Ah, stop! You accidentally launch your ninja sword, everything goes flying out the window, dead bird and all. No one can ever know about this. Tiny little exclamation point. Dave, look out the window. Yeah, you can kiss all that stuff goodbye. You feel sorry for the bird, but at least you never planned on ever using that beta ever. Anyway, now that bit of ugliness is behind you, you guess you can look forward to several more hours of messing around your room. Whoa, wait, what? Suddenly, Fancy Santa. Oh, snap! No, it's just a wizard. You prepare to descend the stairs to your living room. You are standing eye to eye with a familiar foe, a 20-foot-tall granite statue of the mighty wizard Zazarpan the Learned. Your mother had him installed through a hole in the roof with a heavy-duty crane. Just look at that mystical gaze. To peer into those aloof, glassy eyes is to arrest the curiosity of the mortal. To behold the wisdom concealed in the furrows of that venerable face is to know the ceaseless joys of bewilderment itself. Any man so fortunate as to catch askance his merry twinkle or twitch of whisker shall surely have all of his dreams fulfilled. You find this grisly abomination utterly detestable. Rose, psychoanalyze mother's love of wizards. There's nothing to psychoanalyze. Your mother clearly has no real affinity for these damnable things. She only collects them to spite you. If anything, she finds them even more repellent than you do. She's just a committed woman. Rose, go downstairs to the kitchen back door. You descend to the living room area of your home's expensive open layout. There is a sound of rushing water beneath the floor. It tends to strike guests as a strange presence in the living room space, but it's become hardly audible to you through familiarity. There's the front door, but hopefully there's no need to make the long trek around the house in the rain. You might as well see if you can slip through the kitchen and out the back unnoticed. Rose, view mother's solid copper vacuum statue. Okay, but it's bronze, not copper. But it wasn't always. A while ago you gave this as an ironic gift to your mom for Mother's Day. You even customized it with a drink holder to support one of her ubiquitous alcoholic beverages. She liked the gift so much she had it bronzed and put on this pedestal. She even left it plugged in so that it can still be turned on now and then, but never to do any cleaning. It never leaves the display. Sometimes at night when you're on your room, you can hear it wailing from downstairs. She must know you can hear it. She's completely deranged. Rose, grab the Eldritch Princess. It's too big to capture log. Not that you would want to move it anyway. The pretty princess doll has been sitting there for months, ever since your mother got this abomination for your birthday as a totally passive-aggressive gesture. You decided to make it much less abominable by knitting Her Majesty a new head and new arms. Now it brings a mischievous smile to your face whenever you walk by. Your mother hasn't removed the doll yet, and probably never will. She would never be the one to blink first. Rose, acquire umbrella from protection from the elements. You're going to have a hell of a time accessing that card when you need it. You guess you'll just cross that bridge later. Rose, peek inside the kitchen. The liquor bottles are out in full force. Mum is surely nearby. Investigate richly colored object in middle of screen. That would be your refrigerator, whose services have customarily served as a battlefield for a chilly siege of passive-aggressive one-upsmanship. This was a drawing you did of your cat Jaspers when you were younger, along with a poem about him. Your mother bought this ostentatious $15,000 frame for it and had it welded to the door. Using the colorful magnet letters, you recently left a succinct message, which may or may not have been directed towards anyone in particular, but you just couldn't find the W, so you just stuck two V's together. Your mother then purchased a fresh pack of W's and left them there for your convenience. Appreciative of the thoughtful gesture, you left her a sincere thank you note, which you had legally notarized and then marked with a drop of blood. But part of it was touching the floor, so your mother was kind enough to lift the lower portion of the document with a velvet pillow. Rose, attach a W to face as a fake mustache. This is incredibly silly, and you're not sure how it fits into your campaign against your mother, or getting back your computer online to escape your doom. But it's hard to resist getting a little silly sometimes, especially when you're absolutely positive no one is watching. Capture log the W. But that unsightly void in the W pack won't do, nor will the gash in the plastic. You deposit 12 cents in its place, which is your approximation of the letter's value. You also make a vow to return later and neatly sew the plastic shut. Think of ways to one-up mother. You now wonder how to address the pillow situation. It seems the woman has you at a clear disadvantage. Perhaps slipping a fresh doily under the pillow will do the trick, or maybe spilling a bit of Worcestershire sauce on it. Oh, come on, that is the worst word to say right now. Worcestershire sauce on it. And then having it dry cleaned and returned along with a laboriously ingratiating apology note? No, there's no time for anything like that. Or maybe, just thinking out loud here, you could use the entire pack of W's as M's? Oh yes, that would burn. But you've already done something like that with the W pack, and there's no need to go back and gild that lily. This is a delicate business, and that pillow is screaming for rebuttal. Rose capture logs the velvet pillow. You decide to take the velvet pillow and lovingly embroider a poem in praise of motherhood on it. Hopefully you can pull this off before she notices it's gone. But it causes your tree to be pretty badly unbalanced. It will surely auto-balance itself in a moment. And just like that, the umbrella becomes accessible in the root card. That's one of the things you love about the tree modus. The happy surprises. Rose, head out the back door. Okay, enough's enough. Time to go. Ah! You don't know how she does that. You're never safe in this house. And of all the things to be doing during a power outage, she's up to her ironic housewife routine again. That mop bucket doesn't even have any water in it. What an absolute madwoman. Rose, hop over counter, landing in a roll. This bird's gonna fly. Youth roll. Lousy goddamn stupid wizards. Meanwhile, in the past again. You're almost done patching up the hole in your window with the gaffer tape, but it's sort of hard to get any work done when people keep pestering you all day. You guess you better answer that. Dave, answer chum. Guardian Gnostic began pestering Turntech Godhead. Hi, Dave. Hey, sup? Not much up with you, bro. Good one. It's alright being chill, I guess. You know how it gets. Great. Feeling cool today, Mr. Cool Guy? Oh, man, you know it. So cool. You know, shit is ice cold up in here. Shit is wicked bananas, I'm telling you. So have you talked to John today? Yeah, we were just talking a while ago about how he sucks at his Sylladex. Can you believe he uses Stack? That kid is ridiculous. Lol. Well, that doesn't sound like much fun. What was it that you used again? Wait, never mind. I forgot whatever we talk about your goofy moduses. I get migraine. What do you want with John? I want to tell him happy birthday and ask him about his birthday package. Oh yeah, I was sort of being cagey and told him to check the mail because I was wondering if mine came yet. I think it did, yeah? And I think mine came too. So, I guess you want to know if he likes it or something? No! He will not open it! He will lose it! Oh, wow, sorry to hear that, I guess? No, it's good actually, because he will find it again later when he really needs it, which of course is why I sent it to him in the first place. See, like, I never get how you know these things. I don't know, I just know that I know. Alright. Anyway, I have to go. I have to feed Beck, which is always a bit of an undertaking. Man, if I were you, I would just take that fucking devil beast out behind the woodshed and blow its head off. I don't think I could if I tried. Yeah, say hi to your granddad for me too, okay? Yes, I guess an encounter with him is almost certain. It is unusually intense. Well, yeah, it isn't always with family, but he sounds like a total badass. Yeah, he totally is. Anyway, gotta go. See ya. Dave, get phone. I like Jade. Jade is happy to voice. Okay. Dave, get phone. It'll be handy to have your phone on standby so you won't always have to go back to your computer whenever someone pesters you. This way you can text message people no matter where you are or what outrageously cool thing you're up to. So cool. Tell one ahead. John, peruse adversary into that room. Or pursue. And even meanwhile, in the present, sort of, once again the slippery antagonist eludes you. You only find more of these unpleasant oily smears. Someone is pestering you. Both your PDA and computer register the message. This chum will know what to do. Alright, I'm out of my room now looking for my bros game. Oh, good. Yeah, there's no sign of Rose yet. I hope she's okay. Well, if she comes back, I'll be ready. You know, you better know what you're talking about, because this could get ugly. Brought my phone, and also I took my awesome katana with me in case things get too hot to handle. And they always do. You mean that cheap piece of shit you have on your wall? Fuck you, it's sharp and it's awesome and it's a sword. End of story. Okay, I don't really care. I'm in my room again. I think there's someone else in this house, like monsters or something. Howie? Ha, I wish. Dude, monsters aren't real. That's stupid kid stuff for stupid babies. Yeah, maybe you're right. What are you? Maybe. Yeah, you're right. What are you, an idiot? Of course there's monsters in your house. You're in some weird evil monster dimension. Come on. Skepticism is the crutch of cinematic troglodytes. Like, hey, Mom, Dad, there's a dinosaur or a ghost or whatever in my room. Yeah, right, Junior, go back to bed. Fuck you, Mom and Dad. How many times are we gonna watch this trope unfold? It wasn't goddamn funny the first time I saw it. Just once I'd like to see the dad crap his pants when a kid says there's a vampire in the house. Oh shit! Everyone in the minivan! Fucking dad of the year right there. Okay, stop. What do I do? What do you have a hammer? What? Do you have a hammer? Man, so lame. Okay, whatever. You should look into weaponizing your Silodex. My bro is always getting on my case about it, but man, it's not as easy as it sounds. But if you're fighting monsters left and right, you don't have much choice. Okay, I guess I can read up on data structures some more. How's it going there? I'm out in the living room. He's usually here, but I don't see him. Might be playing his mind games, so he's pulling this ninja shit. All I see is a little cow over there, so I guess he can't be too far. Oh god, so lame. What? See? I just don't know why you think it's cool. His ventriloquist rapping thing. Oh, little cow? No, man, little cow's the shit. That's fine, and you're entitled to your opinion. I'm just saying that being a white guy who's a rapper with a ventriloquist doll is not cool by any stretch of the imagination or by any definition of the word cool, ironic or otherwise. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, bullshit, Cal is dope, puppets are awesome, John Egbert blows, the end. Yeah, more like opposite of all those things is the thing that is true. I'm gonna read. Good luck with your bro. Read your book. Stay wary of these foes. Poof, monsters. Only retarded babies who poop in their diapers believe in that stuff. S. Rose. Youth roll right out the front door. Nope. Mom appears. Strife. Aggressive, passive. Empty suicide threat. Ironic indulgence. No, not the pony! The beautiful pony! Looks like Mom has satisfied her S-Strife quota for the day. She simply returns to her housework. No point in going out the front door anymore. Might as well head out the back like you originally planned. Rose. First, be the pony. Second, trample Mom. You can't be the stupid pony, and frankly, you can't imagine why anyone would want to. But you give the pony a begrudging pat on the snout anyway. Her name is Maplehoof. John, turn around! Data structures for assholes. Chapter 7. God damn it, why do I even bother? The good news, finally your revolting incompetence can be put to use. Instead of accidentally firing a Silodex full of steak knives into a priceless oil painting, or of your beloved great aunt, you can turn that fumbling fury towards one of your foes, such as the ability to grasp painfully simple concepts. The bad news, I'm tired of explaining myself hoarse to you gibbering fuckwads. In this chapter, I will be phoning it in with the liberal use of diagrams and shitty clip art. What are you going to do about it? You're going to wriggle in your own viscous secretions like the worms you are, that's what. Here, so learn something for a change. Purse your lips together to form a stiff pucker. Apply them firmly to my rear end. I now pronounce you man and wife. Now get in the kitchen and make my ass some dinner, bitch. You're trying to read, okay? This book is already unpleasant enough as it is, without weird voices in your head nagging you to do things. Besides, I thought we already agreed there's no such thing as monsters. Surprise, monsters. Fine, you'll interrupt your reading and turn around, but you don't see what could possibly be— Oh my god, it's a monster! Don't move, the bunny gets it! Put the bunny back in the box. Kid drops his hammer. Good job, John. Rose exit. You leave through the back door. Nearby is the transformer which distributes electricity from your underground generator powered by the river flowing through beneath your house. The transformer was struck by lightning, though, and no longer works. You wonder if your mother has any plans to have it fixed. You guess she'd rather just play her mind games in the dark house like a weirdo. You can see the mausoleum and the portable generator across your backyard. You're almost there. Rose, use umbrella. Use umbrella to protect yourself from the rain. Everything else falls into the rain. You regather your items and begin the soggy trek mausoleum ward. S. John, get up. This is no time for slumber. Arrow keys, studiously to walk, spacebar to attack. Get him. Ah! No, don't get the bunny. Forget the W and make haste to the mausoleum. Retrieving the W never even crossed your mind. It's just a stupid night. S. John, salvage your weapon and fight on! Sweet. You said, put the bunny back in the box. Now why couldn't he put the bunny back in the box? Now exult! Victory! Spoils are yours! Yay, climbing up your echelon ladder. You got some experience. And some money. Boonbucks. The amazing victory allows you to scale the first 2 achievement rungs on your echelon ladder. You are now a plucky tot, with a new feather in your cap to show for it. The echelon ladder rewards your bold ascent with 125 boon dollars. You waste little time in storing them in your ceramic pork hollow. Additionally, climbing the rungs has boosted your gel viscosity and cash limit. By expending your cash limit, you've made room for all that nice grist you just collected. You now have 32 fragments of build grist and 10 fragments of shale. What about that card? It seems the shale imp had allocated the bunny to its strife specialist. Sort of a stupid thing to use for a weapon, but you might as well grab it and stick the bunny in your strife deck while you're at it. It will at the very least be safer there. Okay. Bunny kind and handle kind. You grab the 2 specify in your strife portfolio. No self-respecting strifer would be caught dead without one. So yeah, this is kind of proof that you're not locked into a single strife specialist, by the way. You have a strife portfolio. And if you can find strife specialist cards by defeating imps, then it's like you can get literally any weapon that any of your imp enemies use in game. So you've never ever been like limited to just the one strife specialist. So, and even then you get a badge later on the kitty camper, hamper sash, whatever fucking thing that lets you use any strife thing that you can use. Gather the scattered bits of your large hammer. Oddly enough, it seems breaking the sledgehammer altered the abstratus from hammer kind to handle kind, even going as far as expelling the head of your smaller hammer from your deck to force compliance. You didn't even notice in the heat of battle. You grab the sledgehammer handle, expelling the useless Harlequin figurine. Now repair the hammer. You merge the sledgehammer head with the handle and return to your strike deck, repairing your hammer kind abstratus in the process. The smaller hammer handle is ejected from the deck since, of course, handles of any sort no longer belong there, obviously. Fine, now what? Dave is pestering you, but you don't have time to deal with his nonsense right now. Something is amiss in your room. You can't quite put your finger on it. Rose, hurry and activate the generator. You fire up the generator and drag a cord into the mausoleum. It of course would be foolish to run the generator inside a confined space. Generator safety is everyone's business. Rose, defile tomb. Sorry, Jespers, have to make space for the laptop. Besides, your final resting place is already a mockery. You should have decomposed years ago under a bed of petunias like a normal cat, not given it to a taxidermist and fitted with a tiny custom-tailored suit and then stuffed in a coffin built for infants. Rose, plug in your laptop. That would be so creepy to see in like a real cat. Like if you had an actual house cat and this is the way your parent decided to take care of them, like, ugh. It'd be terrible. You plug in your laptop and connect to the internet signal again. Everything predictably falls out of your Silodex, but you're not about to get bent out of shade about it. You have bigger fish to fry. Looks like Dave noticed you're back online. He pesters you like clockwork. And there's John. What on earth is he up to now? The door, John! Look at the door! You're right. Didn't Rose yank the door off its hinges and prop it on your bed? Someone or something has put it back and left it slightly ajar. Incredibly alarming. Investigate. Woo, 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 woo. Yes, what is this? So outrageous. Just the music, the old-timey, like, feels like your hand cranking a music kind of music. Great. Rose, pester John. Oh, there you are. John said your house was burning down. Are you on fire yet, or what? No, for now I've retired to the safety of a smaller building, which is much closer to the forest fire threatening my residence. Oh, that's a relief. John told me to get the game to help you get out of there, so I'm working on that now. Working on it? Yeah, my bros copy, long story. Hey, don't tell John this, but I think he might have been right about the puppets. They're sort of starting to freak me out a little. You're referring to your brother's collection? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's cool and all, the semi-ironic puppet thing or whatever, or semi-ironic, man, I don't even know. I'm just starting to think some of this shit is going a little far and it's kind of fucked up. I've seen his websites. I like them. Yeah, well, you would. Oh man, I wish little Cal wouldn't look at me like that, with those dead eyes, Jesus. Sometimes I dream that he's real and he's talking to me and I wake up in a cold sweat and basically flip the fuck out. Interesting. Oh god, why did I just tell you my dream? You're gonna have a field day with that. I'm currently scrawling notes furiously into one of my many psychoanalysis journals I maintain for you. Published papers forthcoming. Because, you know, it's not like either of us have anything better to do at the moment than evaluate each other's radically debilitating pathologies. Yeah, I'm gonna get moving. Oh, have you heard from John? He's not answering me. He won't answer me either. But I am watching him. I suspect he is preoccupied with the fact that he just had a bucket of water dumped on his head by the ghost of his dead grandmother, who also happens to be dressed like a clown. Alright, I'm out. Later. Interrogate this mad woman. Okay. Nana? Yes, dear. Wow, you scared the living daylights out of me. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Well, I guess it's just a really great prank. Good one, Nana. Anyway, are you really my dead Nana? Of course, John. I have come back to help you on your journey through the medium and beyond. I am delighted to see what a fine young man you have turned out to be, just like your father. Okay, I guess I will take your word for it. I don't remember you at all. My dad said I was really young when you died. Hey, speaking of which, do you know where he is? I looked everywhere for him. There's Dad. Your father has kidnapped. Oh no. When you crossed over to the medium, he was apprehended by the very forces of darkness which your presence here has awakened. What? Okay, so what is the medium you're talking about? Oh, that's an indication actually that the imps themselves are like extensions of the void. So that's kind of neat. It makes sense, really. Oh, sitting hurts. I have to move. Okay. Yep, medium represented by very forces of darkness which your presence here has awakened. What? Okay, so what is the medium you're talking about? It is where we are now, a realm that is a ring of pure void, dividing light and darkness. A realm that is a ring of pure void and dividing light and darkness. It turns in the thick of the incissphere, a place untouched by the flow of time in your universe. You mean because we are inside a computer or in the game software or something? A computer? Why, what is that, dear? Some newfangled contraption like the horseless Autobox car? Well, it's like this machine that Hoo, hoo, hoo. Of course I know what a computer is, John. I was just pulling your leg. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh, okay. No, John, you are not inside a computer or software or anything like that. Try not to be so linear, dear. The software that brought you here was merely a mechanism that served as a gateway. Its routines, in a way, serve to invoke this realm's instance, yet it stands independently of any physical machine and somewhat paradoxically always has. I'm not so sure I get it, but alright. So what do you actually need to be doing here? I think it would be best if we started with the big picture. Let's go on. So many curtains. Ooh, psychedelic. I've always kind of liked this music page, too. Above the medium, beyond the seven gates, residing at the core of the incissphere, is a place known as Skya. Legend holds that Skya exists as a dormant crucible of unlimited creative potential. What does this mean, you ask? I'm afraid my lips are sealed about that, dear. Woohoo! But needless to say, where a realm of such profound importance is concerned, forces of light will forever be charged with its defense, while forces of darkness will just be as persistently cover its destruction. Pretty music. Okay. That was really slowing down my computer for some reason. That page. Also, my computer in general is just feeling real slow. And as it so happens, at the center of this realm, whose fate is in question, those very forces duel on a stage stuck in eternal stalemate. Yes, they have dueled in this manner forever. That is, until you showed up. Me. I think my computer's just, like, slowing down. Click on the next page. There you go. There we go. For some reason, those two pages were just, like, messing up my computer. Me. Yes, you, John. Before your mishap with my ashes, you may recall the sprite's previous incarnation, which resulted from its kernel's hatching. You see, this hatching occurs automatically in response to your arrival. The result is a pair of kernels, one dark, one light, each carrying the information they were prototyped with before the hatch. One goes down, to a kingdom entrenched in darkness, the other up, to a kingdom basking in light. Each comes to rest in an orb atop a spire, of which there are 3 others in kind. The 4 spires are situated above a throne, and these 2 thrones preside over the 2 respective sovereign powers. And once the kernels are situated, that is when the game is afoot. The true war begins, light versus dark, good versus evil. This is a war that the forces of light are always destined to lose, without exception. A quest of futility, then. Wow, really? Then what's the point? That remains for you to find out, dear, for you see, the journey you are about to take is the ultimate riddle. Whoa. For now, your objective is to proceed towards Skya, and pass through the first gate situated directly above your house, not even terribly far. The gates will become progressively more difficult to reach, so you had better be prepared to sharpen your adventuring skills. How am I supposed to get up there? You build! Okay, I think I get it now. So I guess the battle against good and evil is sort of irrelevant? Well, I don't know. Well, that all sounds kind of weird, but in any case, we build the house to get to the gates, and then I can save my dad. Yes, John. And then after that, we solve this ultimate riddle thing to save Earth from destruction. Oh, no, I'm afraid not. The slow, stopping of excitement. Your planet is done for, dear. There is nothing you can do about that. Oh. Your purpose is so much more important than saving that silly old planet, though. And that is... Yes, I will have to agree with the float hag about that. John, you are such a good boy. I know you will succeed. Thanks, Nana. You are a good boy, and good boys deserve treats. Hooray! I am going to bake you some cookies. The hag mentioned cookies. Pursue her. Betty Cook. Oh, goddammit, that's just what you need. More baked goods. John, you did not say no to cookies. I command you to get them. You totally abjure the hell out of that idea. You're so busy abjuring, you don't even notice Rose has been trying to pester you this whole time. Rose, hit John on the head with the box to get his attention. You give John a swift drubbing in the noggin, but he's undeterred. That is some fit he is throwing. Perhaps you will take the spare moment to contemplate the nanosprite's strange tale. It may also behoove you to record your thoughts on the developments in the GameFAQs walkthrough journal. It can be hard finding time to update it. In fact, you're not even sure where you found the time to write that what's already there. Oh, is that so, Jaspers? And just what do you think you're looking at with that smug grin? The last thing you need is sass from a dead cat. It's pretty much all his fault you're in this mess in the first place, so he can just button it. John, cookies, now. You refuse outright. This impudence is insufferable. Go get the cookies. Well then, when you put it so slightly, how can John decline? John, you are stupid. You really need to work on your manners. Stupid, stupid, dumb. That's not a command, it's nothing. It's stupid. You're stupid. For the last time, I command you to get those cookies, boy. It's just not going to happen, buddy. Years in the future. But really not enough to write home about. An agitated finger slips mid-keystroke. Beans, mustard, mustard beans. Human etiquette. Suburb Beta. The long and the short, the medium too. I may have been a bit hasty in advising you not to bother with prototyping process. If I spared any detail, it was only to optimize your chances of survival. And if you find yourself begrudging the absence of certain instructions, which if followed would have resulted in your demise, then I guess that makes 2 of us. Otherwise, you're welcome. But the fact appears to be that prototyping the kernel sprite before making your gateway may offer the only opportunity to exercise control over your new environment, a place known as the medium. Also, if prototyped with 1 or 2 sufficiently, albeit loosely, humanoid and or sentient elements, living or otherwise, it offers the chance to have all of this explained to you by an apparitional guide through whatever sort of cryptic, sketchy doublespeak your choice of prototyping elements engender. In lieu of this, you may be forced to settle for my clear, thorough explanations and assiduous dissection of raw data. So I guess if you want it to sort of be vaguely talkable with the sprite, it just has to be humanoid or a sentient element, living or otherwise. So I guess any sort of living creature counts, really. Or once living creature. Again, don't mention it. If you have made it to the medium with an unmolested vanilla sprite, well, I've already covered the bad news about this missed opportunity, and I will go into this further soon. Though to what extent this actually is bad news, I'm not sure. I know only the result of my co-player's current configuration, wherein the sprite was prototyped once before the departure and once after. Which brings us to the good news, which is that you can still prototype after your departure and salvage this massively rewarding experience of haggling with an exposition-slinging phantom guide, so long as you avoid prototyping with terribly inert items, such as a brass door knocker or your father's pornography collection. Actually, that might be interesting. If you're struck by the spirit of such experimentation, please don't hesitate to contact me about it. So yes, you can enhance your sprite in this way, but doing so after your departure will no longer introduce this effect on the medium I alluded to. That can only be accomplished with one or more pre-departure prototypings. In fact, we can extrapolate there are only so many ways to prototype a sprite. Tiers of prototyping in relation to each other. In relation to departure. Both before, one before, one after, both after, only one either before or after, none. Those occurring before will affect the medium through the kernel's hatching process and your guide, i.e. the sprite. Those occurring after will only affect the sprite. The effects this process has on the medium, or more globally, the insistosphere, are still vague to me. They have to do with flavoring the forces you will struggle against, and generally all forces at odds with each other in this realm. It has given me some insight into the nature of the game, which again I derive through extrapolation. We appear to be gauging an instance of a dimension with a highly flexible set parameters, and a series of objectives surrounding an equally flexible mythological framework. This framework seems to begin as a sort of blank template and evolves with the player's actions, and likely further evolves with the addition of more host-client connections and thus more prototyped kernels. I regret to say that I can't be much more specific than that without loosely extrapolating further. There are plenty of questions which have occurred to me, however, questions concerning the kernel sprite, of which I've raised implicitly already, such as what is the effect of an unprototyped kernel on the medium, or a double prototyped kernel for that matter. And even more salient are questions about this dimension itself. Do all players worldwide make it to this dimension if they successfully complete their departure, or is a unique blank instance of the dimension created for each new player? I have no evidence, but instinct tells me it is closer to the latter situation. There is no indication of any other players present in this realm. Alterations in the realm seem singularly centered on the actions of my co-player and myself. If I had to stake anything on it, I would guess every separate client-server pair activates its own fresh copy of the insistosphere, or a unique session, if you will. But the quantity of players is a further complication which invites more questions. It seems the game was destined to suit two players most naturally, the server and the client. But through a mishap, my co-player and I have slipped out of the obvious tandem arrangement, and the only logical course of action to continue playing is to string a daisy chain of server-client connections together until presumably the chain is complete. Theoretically, we could complete this chain with only one other player, functioning as the server to my client and the client to my current co-player's server, assuming he can recover it. The strange thing is, though, in our instance of this dimension, there are 4 receptacles for divided kernels, not 3. Does this mean we are destined to have a 4-player chain? How could the game know such a thing? Perhaps it does, and if this proves to be the case, I trust I will be sufficiently numb to the realization. I can consider nothing about this game surprising at this point, and in fact, from the first moments of play, I managed to deviate so far from my expectations that I completely forgot what my original purpose with it was. I had chances to test some information I obtained on good authority during the prototyping phases, but it completely slipped my mind. And indeed, the game's catacombs securing the dark twisting paths to necromancy were blundered into rather an accident, but perhaps you don't need to know of any of this. Rethink organization. Lead may be waist-deep logarithmic sludge, trimmed down, blech. She's not finished with this yet. Geez, cut her some slack. Maybe you could go bug someone else for a while, or at the very least someone else. So that reminds me of a question I think someone asked me like forever ago of like, what happens if they had a 4-player team, but like they didn't make a complete daisy chain of a server, and that like the 2 of them connected to each other and the other 2 connected to each other? And the answer seems to clearly be, well, then you play 2 different games, and you're not playing a 4-player game, you're playing 2 2-player games. So, it's cool that that's pretty like clear about that. Months in the past, but not many. Snow-covered house. Show pester log. Hi, happy birthday, Rose! Hello, and thanks. Did you just get John's present yet? I just opened it this very moment. What a stunning coincidence you would ask about it now. I am stunned. Yeah, I know. What will you make with it? And who said it was something from which something else could be made? Well, John did tell me what it was at the, Well, John did tell me what it was, I suppose I'll take a stab at learning the craft. It's the least I can do in response to the subtle dig concealed in his gesture. He often tells me I need a new hobby when I make perfectly reasonable analytical remarks. Oh, but Rose, I don't think he meant anything like that by it. You see, not everyone always means the opposite of what they say the way you and Dave always do. Maybe. His birthday is in a few months, isn't it? Yep. I finally finished a present for him. I've been working on it for years. Years. It's so hard to tell when you're joking, or if you're even capable of it. I just mailed it too, so it is sure to get there on time. Mail takes a while to get anywhere from here. I'll probably craft something with strong sentimental value. That should burn him. I don't think you really mean that. I guess not. So shall I expect a green package dropped to my house via airmail from whatever screwball cranny of the globe you're tucked into? No. Sorry, but you're sort of hard to shop for. Besides, I'll have something for you today that I think you will like better than something in a box. Oh, it is a tip! This is already intriguing enough to compensate for the grave scarcity of lavish gifts parachuting from the sky. Please go on. Did you have a pet long time ago that died? Yes. Okay, well, how did you feel about your cat? Did you love him a lot? Okay, well, I didn't mention it was a cat or that it was a male. Let's pretend I'm surprised and you're embarrassed and move on. To answer your question, I would describe my feelings toward the animal as lukewarm. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't really matter, I think. Just, what if someone told you could play a game that would bring him back to life? If someone told me that, I would regard the remark with a great deal of skepticism. If that someone was you, on the other hand, then I would have to ask presumptively, is that someone you? Yes, that someone is me. I just thought you might find it interesting. So what is this game? Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying as though, I think you'll hear about it later. Maybe you can talk to John and Dave about it. They're way more into all that stuff than I am. I'll see what the word on the street is about it, in due time. For now, I'll probably order a copy of Knitting for Assholes. It would be a shame if I ran late with John's present. Dave, get katana. You captchalogue your katana and prepare to venture out into the apartment to retrieve your bro's copy of the game. But first, maybe, just maybe, S. Dave, retrieve dead bird. Dude, that bird is long gone. It probably won't even last long in this heat anyway. You don't even know what's up with this sick heat. The sun threatens to set, but won't step off. It's staring you down, like a big red eye of a hot needle skipping on its groove it's tracing around the earth. While lingering in midair, its heat seems to suspend time itself, stretching it like warped vinyl. It's meant to rain this season, but there ain't been a drop in sight. Even a little drizzle would help. Maybe to help fizzle this sizzle a little bizzle, set the record straight on this global turn tizzle. So don't change the dizzle, turn it up a lizzle. I got a living room full of fine dime brizzles. Waiting on the pizzle, the dizzle, and the shizzle. G's to the bizac, now ladies, here we gizzo. When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. English romantic poet, John Keats. Dave, exit your room and go into the living room. Sorry, little dude, coming through. Gotta put you down for a bit. You figure you left him hanging long enough. Dave, hastily enter the room with wild abandon. You barge in and see a familiar face. A friendly face. You stand in the living room. Your bro spends most of his day in here. At night he crashes on the futon over there. You don't see him anywhere, though. There's a puppet chest he stores little Cal in when he takes him out on gigs, but when he's home he usually leaves Cal on display somewhere, and with good reason, because Cal is totally sweet. So sweet, man. Dave, pity to fool. It's your brother's Mr. T puppet, which of course is kept in the apartment with a sense of profound humorous irony. But as usual with your bro's exploits, this is no ordinary irony, or anything close to a pedestrian Tier 1 ironic gesture which is a meager single step removed from sincerity. This is like 10 levels of irony removed from the original joke. It might have been funny like 8 years ago to joke about Mr. T and how he was sort of lame, but that was the very thing that made him awesome and badass, and his awesomeness was also sort of the joke. But in this case, the joke is the joke, and that degree of irony itself is also the joke, and so on. Only highly adept satirical ninjas like you and your bro can appreciate stuff like this. It's cool taking stuff that other people think is funny, but you know really isn't, and making it funny again by adding subtle strata of irony which are utterly undetectable to the untrained eye. Also, for good measure, Mr. T is wearing a leather thong and handcuffed to a pantsless Chuck Norris puppet. God, you hope you can be good as your bro at this someday. You'd never tell him that, though. It's like the stupidest thing in this whole house, I swear. Dave, find little Cal and give fist bumps. Oh, it's uncomfortable to be sitting in the same place all day. Okay. Cal's nowhere in sight. All you see is a bunch of your bros' weird nude puppets strewn about haphazardly. You guess these things are sort of cool. Sort of. Dave, play a game on the Xbox. Looks like your bro was playing. It's not like him to leave in the middle of some totally intense gaming. Not like him to misplace Cal either. Man, you hope the little guy's alright. Oh, there you are, dude. Didn't see you there. We can be chill today, Cal? Yeah, you better fucking believe we will. Cal is the man. Dave, resist a great urge to play bro's Xbox. You fail to resist the urge. You start thrashing up stunts something uncanny brutal on your quest for mad snacksio, and get this way rude hunger shit under control. Shit is basically flying off the hook. It's like shit wants nothing to do with that hook. The hook is dead to that shit. But you get stuck in some poorly modeled 3D fixture or something, like a railing or a piece of the wall, you'll have to reset. Fuck this shit. Dave, give little Hal a bro fist bump. Aw man, you almost forgot. Gotta give the Seaman's props. Check out your bro's sweet gear. Your bro has so much sweet gear, it's hard to keep up with all its fun sometimes. Here's his computer setup. He's usually got a lot of stuff cooking on here at any given moment. Since he's not around, you might as well sneak a peep. Look at your brother's computer. Oh, hell no. Your brother's computer is password protected, of course, to protect all the incredible top secret shit he's got going on in the burners. Of course you know what his password is, and he knows you know it, and you're both cool with that because the password is the most awesome thing it can be. You enter the password. On the desktop is a hodgepodge of unnamed folders to store all the stuff he's working on. No one can decipher his organization system but him. He also tends to use the application Complete Bullshit to keep up with the ludicrous amounts of websites and news feeds he monitors to stay hip to the scene. Delirious biz nasty, complete bullshit. Millions of new folders. Dave, open Complete Bullshit. I can't even read that even if I wanted to. This is complete bullshit. Dave, check if Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff has a sweet update. Your bro keeps up with your projects in his aggregator, just like you keep up with his. He's tuned into your various blogs, and of course Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. You navigate to the latest comic in one of the many bullshit feed bands. Mouse over the orange stripe containing plush rump. Oh god, this, yeah. Another one of your bro's many ironic websites. The difference here is he rakes in thousands of dollars a month through his enterprise. Smuppets are a multi-billion-dollar-a-year enterprise, and it's awfully hard to resist taking a firm squeeze of the plump udder of that cash cow. Dave, stop wasting time and look for Bro's beta. You guess you messed around on his computer long enough. Better get a move on before it's too late for Rose, or worse yet, your bro catches you. But, my god, those rumps, they are transfixing. You know this is ironic and all, and your bro reaches echelons of irony you can only dream of daring to fathom. But on rare occasions, when your guard is down, it all just seems a tad unsettling to you. Shoot, something dropped. Ah! Okay. Little cow. Oh, hey. Hey there, Cal. Dave, give little Cal a nervous fist bump. You are sort of starting to flip the fuck out, without losing your cool, of course. Pester John to ease your nerves. You get Egbert on the line again to give him the lowdown on your progress. You feel it's important to keep the wires hot, but he's not answering. You wonder what the guy's up to. Hey, what is up? What happened with the monster that is totally definitely in your room? Did you kill it? Where are you, man? Anyway, things are cool here, totally cool. Puppets are still awesome. No problems with them or anything. Like, just really, really awesome. Looks like Rose is finally logged in again. Didn't John say her house was burning down? You wonder if she's on fire yet or what? Dave, pester Rose. Oh, there you are. John said your house is burning down. Are you on fire yet or what? No, for now I have retired to the safety of a smaller building, which is much closer to the forest fire threatening my residence. Oh yeah, we've read this before. Yeah. Yep. Seconds in the future, but not many. John, what are you doing? Snap out of it. We ought to discuss what your grandmother told you, don't you think? Fine. Enjoy your stupor. I'll go about my business elsewhere. Rose, deploy the punch Designix. John, whenever you read this, you should know I put the shale you collected to use and finally deployed your punch Designix. It is in your study. I can only drop it, though. You'll have to be the one to mess around with it and see what it does. When you're finished with your weird histrionics, maybe you could give it a try. I'm updating my walkthrough, and it would help to know what it does. Also, I should probably warn you that your house and yard are completely infested with monsters now. Try to be careful. So I can see. Stupid lousy imps. They're mucking up all my cool stuff. Oh, there you are. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm not sure what came over me there. I was acting really crazy for some reason, but my head feels like it's clearing up. I think I'm all right now. John, rebuild the claw hammer and return it to Specivis. You're getting way better at this sort of thing. John, confront Pogo Red to prepare yourself for Nana. Thank God your sanity has returned so you can entertain extremely rational, coherent thoughts like this one. You examine the Pogo Ride from the bathroom window. You do not like what you see. Those sons of bitches! No one risks painful injury on your green slime ghost Pogo Ride. No one but you! Let's get controls for this. You can do something. Yeah, all the flash pages seem kind of broken. Even on a computer now, which kind of sucks. Oh. Rose, drop something heavy onto one of those imps. Drop a piano on him! Rose, my piano! Sorry, no nuance to these controls at all. I was hoping to bludgeon the imp without letting go of it. Guess I can't really do that. A broken piano isn't the end of the world, though. I guess you're right. You'll need to pick up the spoils in person. I can't interact with the grist. So, that means I have to go out the back door? Yes. Is there a problem? Well, it may sound dumb, but I was hoping to avoid Nana and her spooky ghost cookies. You're right, that does sound dumb. Can you see her in the kitchen? Yeah. What's she doing? Is she baking? You could say that. Are you sure you can't get that grist up to me somehow? Maybe. Rose, use Pogo Ride to fling grist through window. Doesn't look like that grist is going anywhere. You just never know with these gaming abstractions. Rose, drop Pogo Ride in John's bathroom. John, get the grist. There you go. Now why don't you check out the Designix? You can do that while I get to work. On what? Piano, level up for slaying the imp. The piano in its valiant effort has unfortunately been slain, but if it hadn't, it would have raked in so many boon dollars you have no idea. So many. Rose, it's time to build. Make a big floor or no stairway. Nana said to build, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, okay. But this sure is going to take a lot of grist. It looks like you're going to be busy, John. Well, what are you building? Stairs. They're fairly expensive, actually. Oh man, I could have warned you about the stairs, Rose. I'll try regrouping some of the grist out from the catwalk I built earlier. It keeps happening! Ah, good. Looks like I can get a refund for earlier allocations. I told you, Rose! I told you about the stairs! Okay, consider me fully briefed on the matter of stairs. Now, if you don't mind, it's hard enough to concentrate on this without immersing ourselves in Strider's non sequitur. Did you know he thinks puppets are cool? Does he? He's so dumb. Rose, use build grist to construct observation tower on roof. Okay, you obviously don't have enough grist yet for something that ambitious, but you can get started with something of a foundation for upward construction, at least. John, check cabinets for imps or useful items. This is like a combination, it's like a Sims RPG. That's what Suburb is. You build a house, you fight some things, you get the experience. It's all good. No imps in here, just a lot of shaving cream. Dad loves shaving, it's basically all they do. When they're not baking, that is. John, bring 2 cans of shaving cream. You captulogs 2 cans of shaving cream, just in case. You never know when you're gonna need to bust out a hilarious shaving cream Santa beard to ratchet up your prankster's gambit. Your telescope goes flying through the window. Ride the pogo ride. It's just a little cramped in here for any sort of proper reckless pogoing. You'll just grab it and hang on to it until the right moment presents itself. The towel floats back down onto the rack. The circle of stupidity is complete. Rose, check on Nanaquin, see what she's cooking. Cookies. So many cookies everywhere. John, make your way to the study. Little grabby hands. No cookies for you! More stupid imps. Tons of stupid imps. Oh man, they're making so many of those freaking towels. It looks like the imps have taken a shining to the Crookstruder. Crooksite and black goo everywhere. Ride Slimer Pogo and one-up that imp. Well, okay, it's not a Slimer Pogo, but you mount it anyway and brandish your deadly armaments. John, ride your steed to victory. This is incredibly dangerous. John, flip the fuck out. Let's see how they like the old double-barrel lather blaster. Whoops, oh shit! Mr. John respectfully asks that you please stand up. Don't move or the pogo gets it! Now, sir boy, flee from this boorish rabble post-haste. Wall flip. Nice abscond. Refrigerator, level up for slaying the imp. Yeah, because... Boop. The refrigerator skyrockets up the echelon ladder to a new rung, 5-star General Electric, and earns 285 boon dollars. Things are really looking up for this feisty appliance. Well done, John. Polite congratulations. For some reason, you feel a sense of positive reinforcement. Wherever that feeling is coming from, it is sure a welcome change from your erratic moods earlier. Now, my civil fellow, I have a well-mannered query to ask. I blocked the entrance to the study to give you some space to work with the Designex. John, imp's behind you. Should I take care of it? You trapped your PDA again, didn't you? Why did you have to pick up all that stupid shaving cream? It's so pointless. Rose, drop something heavy on one of those imps. All the way through the roof. And boom. John, might I bother you for a can opener? Oblivious to the commotion behind you, suddenly you find yourself pondering the whereabouts of a can opener. You think there's probably one in the kitchen, but the path is blocked by your refrigerator. John is completely unresponsive. What the hell is that nincompoop doing? He is in the future. But let's not get totally carried away here. A studious eye darts about a page like a honeybee gathering the nectar of wisdom. What are you up to, wayward vagabond? Typical human. Please, thank you. You are welcome. Good day. How do you do? Splendid. And you? Gratification. Further courtesy. Favor is mutually carried. Elixir known as tea. Absurd vestige fourth digit is delivered. Everyone is polite. Rip. He's eating all the papers. And more Suburb Beta game packs. Appendix 3 Screen Captures Part 1. I can't take as many as I'd like to for comprehensive documentation. For what it's worth, here's what I've managed to collect so far. More captures forthcoming. We can actually see all like the individual things she got. Co-player John assesses environment after transition to medium, followed by sprite, sends kernel, prototyped once pre-hatched. Completely useless in this form. Severed from suburban grid, house remains mysteriously powered. Convenience presumably facilitated by game, which perhaps deems navigating a powerless house to be a handicap less in keeping with the spirit of game's principal statement of challenge. Internet connection remains stable as well. Will likely remain stable until the internet itself is compromised by some external threat. Something like, say, hackers. Kill monsters, get grist, build up on the house. That's the game. Don't know what the point of this was at the time. Floundering trial and error on exhibit. Unsuccessful attempt at Tier 2 prototyping. Knowing what I know, I might have avoided using a backbreaking vademekum for practical jokesters rife with antiquated lexicon and racist aphorisms. Either that or I might have tried harder to succeed. Final screen capture before I lost my internet signal for a time. I don't know what happened thereafter, but when I returned the car was nowhere to be found and the driveway plateau was in a state of disrepair. The mysteries, will they ever cease? Sprites prototyped once more with grandmother's remains. She treats John to some helpful exposition in a friendly and maternal, grandmaternal manner. Co-player has displayed inexplicably capricious behavior since arrival. Stress-related. Contracted virus indigenous to realm. It should be noted he was kind of a weird guy anyway. Designix deployed, still no clue what this does. At mercy of co-player's foolish prioritization tendencies. Grist payload from slain foe. Whether I deal damage or the co-player does, yield is same. Though I have a significant advantage in battle, taking measures in my own hands deprives John of hand-to-hand combat experience, which ostensibly will become critical later. Building, the point. Building upward, the point, sharpened and directed. Ah, steeds, steeds, what steeds? Has the whirlwind a home in your manes? Is there a sensitive ear, alert as a flame in your every fibre? Hearing the familiar song from above, all in one accord, you strain your bronze chests and hooves barely touching the ground, turn into straight lines cleaving the air, and all inspired by God, it rushes on. Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck he's doing here. Another one of these things? Really, Egbert family? Really? A view of his kidnapped father's room. I can't see in here for some reason. Perhaps this is because John himself has never entered the room. Is it possible that I can see only, in a sense, what John can see or has seen already? I have not found the time to discuss this with him yet. If he enters the room, the question may answer itself. Rose, construct a loft above John's room. What did I do a new tab there? Okay. Nope. Just building things. Okay. More building things. Building even more things. Ladders seem to be a bit cheaper than stairs. Fellow John, it appears we have reached an impasse. Yes, it seems so. The opener dilemma remains unsettled, most unfortunately. It is unfortunate, I guess. What were we talking about again? But it's been a pleasure nonetheless. Thanks for the courtesy. It's not really necessary, but thanks anyway. Oh, but thank you. Okay. Thank you so very, very much, my dear favorable small primate. I shall take my leave now, John, until next time. Wait, where did all this sweet loot come from? Why is there suddenly a crumpled hat on your head? John, gather grist, examine Designix. Feeling especially economical with your behavior suddenly, you skip up all the grist in the room and turn your attention to the punch Designix all in one fell swoop. The device features a countertop station designed with a keyboard setup, not unlike an old-fashioned computer. There's a blinking red light and a diagram etched into the panel. Answer Dave. Okay, wait, hold on. Why am I getting this stupid game for you? You're the one who should be wrist-deep puppet ass. What is the specific problem? The problem is I am up to my goddamn neck in fucking puppet dong. You know you like the mannequin dick. Accept it. I am enrobed in chafing, wriggling, god-fucking-damn puppet pelvis. An obscenely long, coarse Kermit cock is being dragged across my anguished face. Let's put this into perspective. You put up with the puppet prostrate because you love it. Also, coarse is a good word. You don't seem to harbor any sympathy for the fact that I've burrowed fuck-deep into lively, fluffy muppet buttock. I'm whirling in the terrible cyclone of the epicenter of my own personal holocaust of twitching foam noses. It's like a fucking apocalypse of Perky Proboscis in here. Like, the proboscalypse, I guess. Are you going to start rapping about this? What? No, listen. Prong of flesh, bereft of home, found solace twixt a cleft of foam. Oh no, Jesus. Of apocalypse your thoughts eclipse, a painted pair of parted lips that dare through kiss to stir the air, that teases tufts of orange hair, and though faces flush in lovers' fits, hands snug in plush as gloves befit. She's so much better at this than Davis. Okay, Dickinson, if you can shut your perfumey trap for a half second, this is serious. I'm just saying, if I see one more soft bulbous bottom being like kind of jutting out or impudent or whatever, I'm gonna fly off the handle. I'm gonna do some kind of acrobatic fucking pirouette off the handle and win like a medal or some shit. Then let's hope there will be a squishy derriere somewhere below the handle to break your fall. John, observe back of the first visible captcha log card. You flip over the card containing your pogo rad. Anytime you captcha log something, a new code appears in the back of the card. You've always wondered what the code was for. Damn, these things are hard to read, but then you never really found any reason to decipher them, until now perhaps. John, examine reverse side of the hammer card and strife specifics. Looks like the cards from your strife deck have codes too. John, enter captcha code as seen in the back of pogo rad card. You enter the code DQMMJLEK into the keyboard. At least you think that's what the code is. The red light switches off. A green light begins blinking. John, insert card. John, type in NZ7UN6BI. In the interest of due diligence, you enter the other code and repeat the process with that card too. Both cards are now punched with different hole patterns. John, attempt to retrieve pogo from card. Oh, well that should be just a simple matter of... Oh, it looks like they're trapped now. You don't see how you can access the item anymore, or store a new item there for that matter. These cards are pretty much useless now, and the items they contain are toast. But maybe all is not lost. Recalling from your experience with the pre-punched card, you may be able to use the cards to replicate the items in question. Assuming you get the codes right, that is. John, mash keys heedlessly. Not quite through with your cowboy empiricism just yet, you mash at the keyboard to generate a random code. You enter DSKJHSDK. The design stops you after 8 characters, which appears to be the maximum length for a code. The green light goes on, signaling its readiness for a card. You figure you might as well burn the shaving cream, since the product is not exactly at a premium in your household. You also figure you might as well merge the 2 cans into 1 card. You're a little sad that your dad isn't around for this. You have a feeling he would get a real kick out of the idea of duplicating more shaving cream. You punch the card with a pattern that is in no way related to the code for the item it contains. This should make for an interesting experiment. Mad science is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, you just burned another card in the process. Your deck is really dwindling now. Maybe you should have thought this through a little better. On the plus side, you just freed up your PDA, which is overflowing with the pent-up chatter of anxious pesterers. Oh, there's an imp. He's watching. He's looking at things. He sees. There's a thing happening. Rose is just going around killing imps, I feel. Yeah. John, enter your chums. Puppets, awesome! That's really all there is to say on the matter. Turntech Godhead changed his mood to rancorous. John, I'm about to throw a bathtub through your wall. Watch out. Wow, that was totally unnecessary. I made a shortcut upstairs. I thought it would be a good idea to get you up there and try the cards as soon as possible. Also, you weren't being terribly responsive. You mean these stairs? Man, look at these shitty stairs. They're so narrow. I'm supposed to climb those? They're perfectly navigable. I'm saving on grist for now. If you keep slaying foes, collecting grist, and expanding the cash limit, we may not need to be so economical with our resources in the future. So why didn't you just build up a way through that hole into my dad's room? Haven't you ever been in there? No. Exactly. Huh? I'd rather not get sidetracked. I'm more interested in further exploring the mechanics of the game than watching you discover what sort of outlandish harlequin decor your father keeps in his room. Oh, come on, what's the big deal? I'll just climb up and go right through. Will you? Yeah, why not? Are you saying you've never wondered what's in there, or why it's been kept a secret from you? Well, I mean, yeah. Then trust me, you won't be going right on through. Wait, are you saying there's something, like, troubling in there? I don't know. What do you mean? What do you see in there? I can't see in there. Oh. But I don't have a very good feeling about it. Whatever. I think I can handle a few more stupid clown paintings. Rose, move punch card to John's room. Rose, drag some Cruxite dowels up to John's room. I feel like these are supposed to be, like, moving panels, but they're not, for some reason on my end. Weird. Oh well. Okay. John, collect grist, examine safe. You swoop up the bountiful supply of grist generated by your co-player's recent exploits. From now on, it will probably go without saying that you'll nab any grist lying around without making a big fuss over it. You check out the busted safe, which has made a noble sacrifice in battle. Some of your father's odds and ends have spilled out, including some old newspaper clippings, and 2 rather hefty tomes. It's a fair bet that these books comprise at least half the weight of the safe. John, examine Family Tome of Humor. It's another copy of Colonel Sassacre's daunting text of magical frivolity and practical japery. This one looks really old, perhaps an original printing. Could it be the same one involved with your grandmother's unfortunate accident on that fateful day? Dad would never speak a word about it, but maybe Nana wouldn't be so tight-lipped? You gave it a cursory perusal. It appears to be similar to your reprinting, listing all the japes and chicanery you've come to know and love. You capitalized it, thinking you may give it a closer look later. John, examine contents of safe. The Fatherly Gent's Shaving Almanac. You take a look at the other book. You sure Dad thought this was a scintillating read, but it looks pretty boring to you. Maybe you'll crack into it someday when you're old enough to shave. Everything in the safe was obviously very important to your father. You wonder why he kept it locked away from you. Some things about him you'll never understand. He seems to have been collecting scrapes from the news over the years. These articles go back decades. Space Rock knocked local blurbs block off. Shortly after 4 a.m. today, a downpour of meteors in a residential neighborhood became yet another instance in a pattern of recent rocky cosmological phenomena. The incident, aside from property damage and loss of life, was downplayed by authorities as not all that big a deal. So if I recall, Dad found John on a meteor, like, in that same meteor as the one that killed Nana, I'm almost certain of. So that means John was, like, born, quotations, after 4 a.m. So that's interesting. Yeah, Monday, April 13th. So that's John's, like, birthday, the day he was born. So that's when John fell, at about 4 a.m. I never knew the exact time. It seems he's been collecting scraps from the news over the years. These articles go back decades. John, look at the piece of paper taped to the wall. Son, if you are reading this, it means you are now strong enough to lift the safe. You are now a man. As such, you are entitled to what is inside. I know you will take this responsibility seriously. I am so proud of you. John, turn the card over. 024913. You guess this is a combination to the safe. This is completely useless. John, examine back of capture log card on the floor. You guess these are all zeros? Or they are capital O's? Zeros would probably make more sense for an empty card, you think. John, capture log the card. John, enter code on the back of card into Designix. Punch card. Wait, John, before you punch that... Oh, I was about to say, if you first took note of the card, then removed the card from the card, you could have punched the blank one. You would have only burned one card instead of two. Oh yeah, you're right. Damn it. John, throw hat down in disgust. Capture log, punch, capture log card. What? John, take PDA. The 2-card Sylladex inventory of dumbasses. John, level up. Colonel Sassacre, level up for slaying the imp. The Colonel soars to new heights as his echelon reaching the rung one-man julep vacuum and pockets 9,555 boon dollars. Chump change for the genteel aristocratic Southern Colonel. Bathtub, level up for slaying the imp. The bathtub surges heroically and surpasses the rung Archimedes Aqua Cradle, proceeding directly to the vaunted rung Taft Jammer. The tub makes off with a cool 490 boon dollars. The tub's basin capacity remains unaffected. Safe, level up for slaying the imp. The safe was slain in battle. A great flaming nautical pyre carries it off to Valhalla. John, make your way up the stairs post-haste. You're not sure. They look pretty precarious to you, but you've been assured the stairs are perfectly navigable. Lad, scramble! Lousy, stupid, goddamn stairs. Oh, that's a big imp. Dave, ignore little Cal and find the betta. You wander over to the place where your bro keeps his sweet turntable gear. Man, that setup is sweet. You feel pangs of jealousy whenever you walk by it. Really cool jealousy, though. Like the kind where instead of getting all worked up about it, you don't actually give a shit. One of your brother's rad and extremely expensive ninja swords is missing, though. You know this drill all too well. Trouble's a brewing. Dave, take expensive ninja sword. What sword? Dave, exit your bro's room. You approach the exit. There's something on the door you haven't seen before. It looks like one of your bro's ironic comics he left for you to check out. What have I done? Animal? Please start breathing. Oh god, please breathe. Okay, make-believe time is over. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. What will Nanny do to me if she finds out? No one can ever know. I have to hide the body, but where? Think, imagination. Arg, the one time I really need you. Hello, Rolf. I want to play a game. I want to play a game. I want to play a game. Saw references. Ahoy. Here it goes. Okay, some of this stuff you know he's just leaving around to get under your skin. This is obviously another ploy in his relentless siege of one-upsmanship to get your goat. The same goat you've been meaning to bleat like, ironically, but that will still have to wait for the more appropriate time. You think he knows that deep down you feel like you're still not ironic enough to get stuff like this, and this is probably some weird gauntlet he's throwing down to see if you will get it. But honestly, you think this material is just a little too ironic. You just don't need to see this shit right now. Dave, go into the kitchen. No sign of bro in here either. Well, aside from the observed quantity of awesome, dangerous stuff he leaves lying around. Dave, transfer katana to Strife Specivis. With an escalating sense of threat, you think it's time to shift your katana to your specialist. You figure it's time to free up the card anyway, since you might need to grab some of the stuff. Dave, set blender to mix. You guess your bro stuck some fake blood capsules in that puppet? Pretty gross. You spot one of your bro's many webcams nearby, recording the incident. It seems you may have just been an unwitting accessory to some sort of grisly puppet snuff film. You're not totally sure how you feel about that. Dave, capture log Buster Sword from behind microwave. This might be the only thing in this whole apartment that's a bigger piece of shit than your own sword. You put it back behind the microwave where it belongs. Dave, set blender to crush ice. You're just sort of bouncing around in there now. You're making it a bit of a mess now. Dave, hide evidence in microwave. See, like, his hobbies are cool and all, and you guess he's gotta put this shit somewhere, but what if he just wanted to heat up a burrito or something? This kitchen is pretty much useless. Dave, grab those fireworks. You capture log all the fireworks the sink has to offer. You just know these are going to come in handy. Why would they be in the sink if they weren't? Looks like one of them is still stuck in the garbage disposal. Dave, capture log shurikens. You grab the shurikens and, hey, careful where you're putting stuff, especially if you're looking to turn your Siladex into a powder keg full of sharp things. You put the box of fireworks back into the card and prepare to start over, or card 3 apparently, that settles that, you guess. Dave, take nunchaku. You take the nunchaku, and once again, grabbing without thinking ahead. First you capture log the box again, while adeptly avoiding the shuriken trap which you just set for yourself only moments ago. You again round up all the fireworks, time to regroup here. Dave, capture log each shuriken individually. You grab each shuriken one at a time, knocking out the nunchucks, but no worries, you've got a plan. Dave, capture log nunchucks. You take the nunchucks. Everything seems to be in order now. It would have been badass to go with the authentic Japanese names for each weapon, but sometimes you just gotta compromise with this modus. Dave, examine fetch modus. You flip over your fetch modus and check out the back. You're not really sure where it is you're keeping this thing? Oh well, who cares. Dave, press eject button. Oh hell no, not after the trouble you went through to get that stuff situated. This is potentially a very dangerous button. Dave, change to Scrabble Points hash modus. First you program your modus with a Scrabble Points hash function, adding it to the list. This might be a cool function to use, but it looks like you'll have to empty your Siladex to select it. You're just not going to do that yet. No way. Dave, check out the box detect collisions. Okay. Dave, take the skateboard. And just what is this guy so happy about? What is he looking up there? You think you see one more soft bulbous bottom being like cunning jutting out or impudent or whatever, you're going to fly off the handle. You cut him in half. You take the skateboard. Actually, no you don't. A collision has been detected. You take the wheeled ride. Man, your inventory's nomenclature is getting lamer by the minute. Dave, capture log the unplugged power cord. You take the power cord. Wait, no, that's not going to work. Dave, think of a new word for power cord. You take the battery pack. Damn it. You take the battery pack using the Y as a consonant. Your Siladex reluctantly accepts. It's a tactic notoriously employed by hashmab noobs, but you just don't care about that now. Besides, it's not like your bro's around to see. Oh, that's a bro. That's a shadowy bro. Dave, search for some mad snacks, yo. Oh, it's just little Cal again. You can never stay mad at him. Anyway, you gotta find a way to have this rude hunger under control. You figure you oughta scope the fridge out for some grub. This hunger is so ill-mannered it would make a room full of snooty dowagers commit mass suicide. Dave, open refrigerator. Oh god, more shitty swords. Of course you knew those were in here. You're not even sure why you looked. If you wanted to keep any food or beverages in this apartment, you pretty much got no choice but to hide stuff away in your closet. Dave, take swords. The hell with it. You try to take the entire jumble of unbelievably shitty swords and brace yourself for. Looks like that works, actually. You capture log the jumble of unbelievably shitty swords. Dave, use ice maker, but it's still hot around here. You dispense several cherry bombs. Wait, who's that looking at you in the reflection? Little Cal. Where'd that little dude scamper off to this time? Dave, capture log cherry bombs. You go for the cherry bombs unsuccessfully. After mulling it over a bit, you take the red spherical salutes. Dave, take blender. Blender is a pretty simple word, and you can already tell it's not going to work. And you take the whirling blade pitcher. That's a really much better name for it anyway, you think. Activate garbage disposal. Stuff down the Mr. Purple guy into the garbage disposal. You're still not sure what he's so happy about, or what he's looking at up there. While you're at it, you dump the contents of the blender, whirling blade pitcher, into the disposal, but you suffer an unfortunate garbage disposal head jam. You notice something in the reflection, something above you. Look up. Hello, Dave. It's the hatch to the crawl space above your apartment. Bro's always tucking away in there when he's busting out his rad stealth stunts. He's so slick that dangling cord never even jostles. You just know he's being ironic with these weird mind games. There's no way anyone would be serious without aping the shitty movies. Dave, use the turntables and cinder blocks to make a fort. Oh, that reminds me. That's like a few times now that mind games has been used in reference to Dave's bro, which is like just perfectly encapsulating how I believe like bro as in like Dave's bro or in like Little Hal, like they encompass a kind of like self of mind mindset kind of thing, being like sort of like inversions of each other, because obviously bro turned out to be like this abusive asshole and Little Hal is like definitely an unhealthy version of Dirk. Use the turntables and cinder blocks to make a fort. It's a pretty sweet fort you just made, and you're pretty sure your brother would agree. Under different circumstances, you might be high-fiving over it right now. But rather than get inside and take her for a spin, you really just need to use it to get up to that hatch. Dave, yank cord. It's time to face your destiny. No going back now. And pile up some Muppets. He's like, no, 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 no. Swish, no. He's angry. Yeah, there's pretty much no way there wasn't going to be a bunch of puppets in there. Okay, wait, hold on. Why am I getting this stupid game for you? Oh yeah, we just saw that from Rose's point of view a while ago. Dave, read the note on the hatch. Bro, roof, now, bring Cal. We're doing it, man. We're making this happen. Dave, bust out of the puppet pile like the one. Ching, 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 ching. A little swords. Dave, be the other guy. You are now the other guy. John, take dowels and sheets from bed and make a tent. This is so much fun. A huge waste of your time, yes, but so much fun. John, carve a totem of the punched pogo card. You put the punch card containing the pogo ride in the slot and carve a totem from one of the Cruxite dowels. John, repeat process with other cards and dowels. You use the card containing the code for the hammer as well as the one with the random code you punched over the shaving cream card for the hell of it. You carve the respective totems for the cards. Do the same thing with Captcha-Log card. You make a totem for the Captcha-Log card. Pretty bare bones looking totem if you ask me. Rose, collect totems. You stow the totems in your Athenium. Rose, produce Captcha-Log card. The Alchemitor requires 1 unit of any type of grist to produce 1 card. You decide to use shale since it seems generally less useful than build grist as of now. You make a whole bunch of them. Whoa, did you make all these? Yes. Sweet, thanks. What did you do with all the blue wobbly vase-looking things? I brought the totems to the Alchemitor to test them. I'm taking some things into my own hands to save some time. Okay. You create a hammer at the expense of 2 units of build grist. You make a pogo ride too. Minus 5 build, 1 shale. You use the totem carved with the random code. You create a rocket pack with some random crap stuck inside it. Looks like a cinder block, a violin, and a flower pot. The items have rendered the device completely inoperable. You figure you might as well put this piece of junk to use. John, collect cards. Using a little strategy, you grab Harry Anderson's Wise Guy by Mike Cavany, then the cards, then your ejected then the book again to flush the cards into your deck. Nice going. John, turn on detect collisions. You flip your fetch modi, but find no such option. This is idiotic. John, read book, be the wise guy. Oh god, all this. Do I want to read all this? I don't think it matters. It's just like Anderson guy. You never really understood what Cavany's relation to Anderson was or why he wrote this book about him. His ambivalent attitude towards your favorite magician in these anecdotes has always struck you as a little weird. And to be honest, you tend not to read much of the text in the book. You mostly like to look at the diagrams for all the cool tricks. Oh god, more. Okay, fuck it, I'll read all of it. New Orleans, 1977. The close-up room at the Magic Castle was this mean little box that tended to fill up with so much smoke you'd swear someone was cremating a wet dog in there. In walks Anderson. There isn't much that gets liquor to pause its journey from the table to my lips, but I'll be the bastard love child of a listless octoroon if that kid wasn't the cat that swallowed the canary in a dapper little hat. It looks like he was testing the tensile strength of his suspenders to damn near limit with a pair of cocky thumbs. I wasn't impressed, but I was a fool. Somehow in my motion for another beverage he had already slipped into polite conversation at a table held down by some notoriously brusque regulars. He had them in no time flat. They were melting butter in his glass ramekins. Whatever tidy yarn he spun to win them over, I didn't catch a word of it. One of them laughed. I was angry. Envious, maybe a little. Yeah, you bet I was. Anderson had one of those little wooden finger choppers that Mickey Hayes used to sell. The kind where the blade could be removed and clearly shown. It was a very convincing little guillotine that did not look like a novelty store toy. Harry would get a guy to examine the chopper and then cut a cigarette in half. Then he held the guy's hand up and told this silly story. The course of the story was artifice, a distraction for the guy in the audience while he worked his stuff with the chopper. Or it would become that, once his famous chopper trick was perfected, vaulting him to fame, fortune, and the crowning position in his television judiciary. With what became his signature aplomb, Anderson was in moments a front of a breast-pocket gauze, profuse apology, and redoubling determination. It's really amazing how hard it is to find a bloody sausage-sized piece of a guy on the floor in a room that dark and smoky. Impossible, I think we all proved. Just as impossible as blind Willie Buttermilk Stubbs was going to find it to work his trumpet tomorrow night with his twiddling fingers. A hole in the ace, aka the a-hole trick. Here's the perfect example of how Harry could ruin several decks of cards, waste everyone's valuable time, and have you love him for it. He was good at that. One day he noisily emptied his suit jacket pocket onto the hood of his car in search of change for the meter. A clunky metal thing slid from the pile and bounced on the sidewalk. As I retrieved it for him, I asked what he was doing with the hole puncher in his pocket. His face lit up at the question like he was an elf, and I asked him how he felt about climbing into the hollow of a big tree to bake some cookies or something. The 2'6" height differential between us causes these comparisons to enter my mind. A small crowd had already gathered around even before he produced the first pack of unmolested cards. How people seem to gather, and how they even know a street performance is about to take place, I'll never know. It's perhaps Anderson's greatest trick, luring the marks like that. I wanted to ask him if he was sure about this, performing in broad daylight. He was used to working in dark rooms. It was usually the first thing out of his mouth when he would queer a trick. I'm really more accustomed to working in a darker room than this, but Harry was excited, and he already butchered the first deck of cards with the hole puncher, and issued the first round of apologies to the crowd. These were the primer apologies, the sort that got folks loosened up a bit before the 7-course meal of ingratiation that would inevitably follow. He asked me for a fresh deck of cards, and I gave him one. The principle behind the trick in theory, as he explained to me later, was to punch holes in what appeared to be one card, but was in fact 2 or more together, hence the difficulty he often had in squeezing the puncher with his little elfish hands, then using some coy maneuvers with his thumb, temporarily concealing the hole while he had slid the card beneath it with his palm. The hole would seem to disappear or move to another part of the card. Oh yeah, that's right. The old hole in the ace trick, interestingly enough, pertaining to punching holes in cards and making them disappear and stuff. Your hands were never really strong enough to make this one work all that well either, but actually this gives you an idea. You overlap 2 of the punched cards. They mask each other's hole patterns. John, put both cards in the totem lathe. You cover another totem using the new combined hole pattern. John, take it to the alchemitor. Oh man, looks like Rose made a million hammers for some reason. Get all this shit out of the way, you're about to make something sweet. There you go, pogo hammer. You got the pogo hammer! John, practice with new weapon. Boing, 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 boing. What did you do? I combined the cards in the lathe thingy and made this. It is so sweet. Man, look at me go. I see. That was a really good idea, John. Nice work. Thanks. I got the idea from Harry Anderson. Who? You know, from Show Night Court? No. Oh. Well, bottom line is, he's awesome. That's all there really is to say on the matter. John, attack the nearest imp to test pogo hammer strength. You get a vicious rhythmic bouncing combo going and easily slay the imp in one blow. You and the pogo ride are catapulted sky high in the process. Woo! So many imps. And there it goes. Sweet catch. Time to build more house? Or no, right, the giant imp. Yeah. Oh boy. More giant imps. Rose, pester John. Hey, that was a pretty, nice, sweet catch. Save. Oh, yeah, that. This is pretty comfy. Why don't you just, like, carry the bed around with me on it, up to the gate up there? I can't interact with you directly, or anything that you are touching, if it will result in moving you. See? Oh, lame. The game probably regards that as a kind of cheating. In a way, thieving you of your free will as an adventurer, the need to advance by your own skill and ingenuity. The server player is just a facilitator. Well, okay. All the scurrying around a bit kind of wore me out. I think I'm going to rest here for a bit. Rose, can you keep the imps at bay? Like, drop some stuff on them if they sneak too close? No, you should pick up your hammer and defend yourself. What? Come on. I have no idea what the hell Dave is up to, or if he's any closer to recovering the game. There's some stuff I'd like to try in case he doesn't come through. Alright, I'm just going to rest my eyes for a second, though. S. John sleep. Rose, check Alchemy Excursus. Looks like a sort of index documenting all known results for punch card alchemy combinations. This could be a convenient resource as you start to stumble on more useful card combinations, but ever since John started punching cards, you've been contemplating other ways this item manufacturing system could be put to use. In particular, if you obtain the code for any item at your disposal, you think you could theoretically send the code to John and he can make it himself. That is, if you can think of anything that would be worth sending to him. Rose, Captcha Log Suburb Server CD. You eject the disk and capture logs the server CD. John, message John the captcha code. Oh, goddammit. There is no code. Oh. And there goes the generator. No power. S. John, wake up. Oh yeah, facepalm time 2 combo. S. John, wake up. Seeing things in the clouds. Fruit gushers. Harry Henderson. Oh, who could that possibly be? Hey! Whoa, there you are. How's your adventure going, John? It's okay. I'm making some progress, and Rose finally connected again, so she's helping me now. That's good. Oh, but I don't think I'm actually saving the world here. I don't know what I'm really accomplishing, but I guess it's not that. Well, I think whatever it is, it must be pretty important. Don't lose hope, John. I think it will all turn out for the best if you stay positive. Just keep listening to your grandmother's advice. Yeah, you're probably right, but, I don't think I mentioned Nana to you, did I? Oh, well, I don't know, didn't you? I don't know. Maybe you talked to Rose or Dave about it or something. Yeah, maybe that was it. They're all really weird when they try to talk to me about you. They're always trying to convince me you have some spooky powers, but I'm always like, no, she seems like a pretty regular girl to me. Hee. But then when I think back, maybe there are times when it seems like you know some things. Like maybe you know more about a thing than you were telling me. I don't know. Oh well, John, I want to explain lots of things to you. Some things are just, then I know I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? Oh, John, I forgot I was messaging you about that meteor that fell near my house. Oh yeah, whatever happened with that? Oh boy, well, it turns out I was confused about it. Really confused. See, I guess I fell asleep for a while and I lost track of time. That happens. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Maybe when you wear, an alarm clock or something. So what was the deal with the meteor? Well, it's hard to explain, but I know what it is now, and now I know everything's going to be okay. So what is it? Or is this just another thing you're waiting to tell me? Oh gosh, John, I really want to tell you all this stuff, but I really can't yet. I really think you should need to wake up first, huh? Well, okay, not literally. Oh, well, okay, maybe kinda literally. Ah, stop being so confusing. Well, anyway, time for you to go, John. I think you have some company. Ooh, when is she messaging him? It's hard to know. There's no time. John, quickly grab the pogo hammer. I wonder how far I am through Act 2. I think I'm nearing the end. I don't know. You stick the pogo hammer back in your strike specific and get ready to kill some more of these pesky little... Huh? What's that? Uh-oh. There's a big boy coming. Even the imp's scared. Rose, why aren't you dropping something on that thing? Oh no. John, be the imp. You be the imp and quickly abscond the fuck out of there. This is what weaker adversaries do whenever things get too hot to handle, which is frequently. John, prepare for a boss battle. You stop being the imp because that would be stupid and scurry over to the magic chest that you suddenly remembered was on the roof. There are some things in here that would be good to stock up on for a major battle. But it looks like someone has plundered your chest. This is so outrageous. Oh, more big imps. You are being ambushed. There isn't much room to maneuver on the slipping roof. Maybe you should consider making your way to higher ground. John, ascend to the highest point in the house. You go up here. John, look down. You peek over the edge. It already seems like a long way down to your yard, not even to speak of whatever's below. Hey, weren't your trick handcuffs dangling from that branch earlier? Damn it, why do imps gotta be making off of all your sweet gear? John, turn around. Crude ogre. You are confronted with a pair of enormous foes. This is it. You have no choice but to wage a fierce rooftop battle. This is totally going to happen now and could in no way conceivably be interrupted by a sudden shift in our attention. It's go time. It's time to do this thing. We're doing it, man. We're making this happen. Dave, stop being the other guy. You stop being the other guy. You're not even sure what that meant anyway. S. Dave, ascend to the highest point of the building. Here we go. Time for Dave to get his butt kicked. Oh wait. Double Seiko combo! It's Wayward Vagabond! You are now the Wayward Vagabond. Retreat. Got him already. Examine rotten pumpkin. What pumpkin? Check the little red bar. It appears to be a gauge for a large power cell, perhaps fueled by some type of nuclear reaction. If this is the case, it is relatively low on fuel, but who knows how long it has been running here. You do not care about this sort of nonsense, and you will disregard it at once. You are very hungry. Capture log can of gravy. Capture log? You have no idea what that means. It is total nonsense, and you do not know what to make of it. You will not give the foolish notion a second thought. Pick up the can of gravy. Just pick it up. You just pick it up. You are now holding the can of gravy. Use sharp teeth to poke a hole in the lid of can. Your teeth are useless for the task. They are blunt like that of livestock, presumably suitable for mashing up plant matter, not much for puncturing metal. They're herbivores. Attempt to open the can with your weak, pathetic digits. Your weak, pathetic digits are not strong enough to penetrate the can. Your fingers are certainly pointy, though, and your black carapace is suitably rigid, but you just don't have enough muscle for the task. Take the can labeled beans. Okay, you take that too. You take that too. Examine can of mustard. This can clearly reads mustard, a fact which you are perfectly well aware. It is sort of cumbersome holding all these cans at once. You doubt you can hold many more than this, maybe one or two. You'll need to find something to put stuff in if you want to carry a lot of things around. Examine marking on wrist. You drop all the cans and take a look at your wrist. It's a sort of specialized barcode pattern. It springs back unpleasant memories, and you would prefer not to dwell on it. WB. Examine the small potted plant. What plant? Check book on human etiquette. It appears half the pages of this book have been eaten. This daunting volume is considerably lighter than it once was. You are somewhat skeptical about the nutritional value contained by these pages. However, of the practical wisdom they contain, there can be little doubt. You have learned so much. Sustenance. Intermediary. This is the key. Consumption. Clear out all the cans inside the purple machine. You empty the peculiar cabinet and take a quick inventory of your canned goods. You have beans, mustard, gravy, bread, shrimp, asparagus, cheese, rice, corn, peas, flour, chestnuts, mayo, ham, potatoes, and squash. Such bountiful plenty, and yet the delights taunt you from within their small metal prisons. Search room for can opener. You have already looked all over the place for the can opener, even making a few electronic inquiries about one, but to no avail. Nothing else is inside the purple thing either. Locate a nearby sharp object. You wield your trusty knife. It is actually, you're not sure what they're called. It's one of the old, rusted, one of those red mailbox arm swing flappy doodads, either for letting you know there's mail in the box, or maybe for alerting the mailman to outgoing mail to be collected. You don't know, really. You're wrapped in a little piece of cloth around it for the grip. It is useless for opening cans. Be the imp. This means nothing to you. You are not an imp. You have no idea what an imp is, and you will not entertain such frivolous and childish ideas ever again. You feel stupid, and you hate yourself a little for even considering it. Become the mayor of Cantown. As the glorious founder and mayor of Cantown, you erect a dignified, majestic city hall out of cans, fittingly capped off with the tomb of good manners on the roof. You have given yourself a very official, important-looking mayoral sash made out of old cables to complete your look of authority. A number of rather civic-minded citizen cans gather in front of the building to offer adulation to their fair and magnanimous leader. All is well. You immerse yourself in this beautiful dream as you whittle away the minutes or perhaps hours. You love the idea of being a mayor. You love everything about mayors, and the concept of an orderly civil democracy. It all seems so mannerly and reasonable to you. Everyone is friendly and happy, and the city runs like clockwork. The foundation of its government is based on mutual respect between the leader and its people. It is also built on having a really great mayor that everyone loves, who is totally amazing and heroic and brave. Mayors are so much better than kings. You hate kings, and you think kings are really stupid. They are petty, bossy tyrants and are really full of themselves and are basically awful in every way. God, do you hate kings. Explore west of Cantown. Over here is the other side of the room. There is another one of those purple storage boxes and some useless objects scattered on the floor. Use glowing green rock to open cans. You take up the nugget of uranium and... Oh, that was so stupid. Why did you do that? Examine box of crayons. It's chalk, numbnuts. Inside the box there are 12 pieces of chalk in every color of the 10 pieces of chalk in most colors of the rainbow. You are excited by this. He really likes to eat green things, whatever they are. Try to open the storage box. It's locked. There must be some sort of release mechanism for this container. Examine contents of yellow container. The container is full of motor oil. This does not seem useful to you right now. Rescue the poor lightning bug. There is nothing you can do for your new little friend. Attempting to crush the amber encasing the firefly would likely cause it harm. It nevertheless bravely flashes on. You find its light alluring, inspiring. To you it seems as if it could quite easily serve as the light of democracy. Use the chalk to draw some roads. You sketch a handsome network of sprawling thoroughfares for your citizens to traverse. The adoring population applauds its mayor's keen instincts for city planning. You even add some lush vegetation to your city with a piece of blue chalk, because you can't seem to find a more suitable color for some reason. Lay a chalk foundation for Cantown's civic growth. You developed westward, settling into those fertile plains and claiming them for your city. You section off a number of residential and commercial zones for civic growth, arranged in the only logical pattern that occurs to you. You color the residential zones with your piece of white chalk, but for some reason none of the colors in the box strike you as suitable for the commercial zones. Perhaps there is an alternative. Use your own pee for the commercial zones. You cannot urinate because you have not had anything to drink in quite some time, so you are very thirsty. Also, that is a really terrible idea, and you would not even consider befouling your wonderful city in that way for even a moment. Use motor oil to designate commercial zones. You fill each empty square with a bit of motor oil to complete the zoning. It looks rather striking to you. You can hardly imagine that an up-and-coming young can trying to make it in the world would not be delighted to live in your fair district. You are very careful not to get any of the unpleasant fluid on your person. Peel label from can of mayo and affix to sash. Mayor. Survey surroundings in search of more terrain for city. It seems you have run out of empty territory for your western expansion, but there is still a lot of empty wall space. Perhaps your citizens would be happier with a colorful backdrop that would make them feel more at home. Using most of your imagination and an entire piece of sky blue chalk, you render a bright and cheerful sky full of clouds. You have decided that very closely orbiting your city is a luminous planet which orbits a single moon. You switch to another shade of blue and continue rendering on the western wall. Orbiting much further from your city are 4 planets. None of these have satellites, you've decided. Yes, that makes sense, you think. And then on the southern wall, beyond an impenetrable veil of darkness, occupying the furthest orbit yet, there's an ominous planet. A moon circles this one too. Check the rampaging boy on the screen. Oh yeah, it's that guy. You'd almost forgotten about him and his confusing shenanigans. It seems like he has things well in hand at the moment. He does not appear to need your help, and you've already concluded that he cannot help you, at least for the time being. Turn on the other 3 screens. You have no idea how to turn these on. There is no mouse for this weird quadra-monitored computer. It can only be operated through text commands from its keyboard. Perhaps there is a special key or command which will allow you to switch to another monitor. Press Tab. Tab. And out comes cans of Tab. Tab! Consume several cans. You free the heavenly brown elixir from the jewels of the pink carapace and imbibe like the wind. It is so sweet and sugary. You wonder how much sugar can fit in one can. Whatever mighty wizard concocted this potion is truly deserving of your fear and respect. Welcome the rest of the city. The Tabs are naturalized as loyal new citizens of Cantown. All cans are welcome and equal in your city, regardless of can content and whether empty or full. It's not like emptying a can kills it or anything. They're just cans after all. Hit escape. Feeling refreshed and heavily caffeinated, you go back to work on the big computer. You hit escape, which seems to minimize the action window thingy and reveals history of all the commands you've entered. Yeah, he was the one doing the thing with John and talking to him. You use the arrow key to scroll up a bit. You can't believe how much you've already typed into this stupid contraption. What a waste of time. You scroll all the way up to your first command. It looks like there are more commands above it. Maybe someone was entering commands in this thing before you. There aren't many more. At the top of this list appears to be the very first command. Home view. Switch 1, switch. So 2, 3, 4, 1. Goes in order of 2, 3, 4, 1. That's interesting. Lock room 3, pass view, reboot. Type, switch 2. You activate screen 2. The signal is garbled and you have no idea what you're looking at. Some sort of filthy beggar pleading for help. No one is around and nothing is happening. You seem to be locked out of any sort of interaction with whatever's happening on this monitor. Switch 3. It's another one of these rapscallions, and this monitor is locked too. You can't tell him what to do. Not that you really want to, since it just looks like someone more confusing nonsense to you. You consider switching to screen 4, but decide against it. You have a feeling that whatever's there would just confuse you even more, and you don't really care all that much anyway. Type home. All 4 screens activate. Together they display a countdown, starting at 4 hours and 13 minutes. Type reboot. You can't. Nothing is working anymore. The timer seems to have disabled the keyboard. Be the mayor. Enough of this nonsense. You are an important mayor and this absurd contraption has wasted enough of your time. You got a city to govern with a carapaced fist, which is to say firm, yet polished, and supple as the situation demands. Anyway, this will help you kill some time while you wait for that clock to count down. Create employment opportunities for the citizen cans. You temporarily dismantle the city hall to free up all the can power available to create a vigilant town militia. You divide them into 2 groups, marking them with distinct teams and ranks using the piece of white chalk and motor oil. You then organize them into flanks across the countryside, preparing for a stiff training regimen. When you are through with them, your forces will be a well-oiled machine. Chalk up another one to bold leadership. I love this. Lead your men to victory! playing chess with himself, I guess. Mourn the loss of Citizen Tab. You have caffeinated jittering must have agitated all the little bubbles curiously hidden in the liquid, creating too much pressure in the can. You speculate this is why it exploded as you nervously eye the timer. You're starting to wonder what will happen when it reaches 0. Maybe it would be best not to be near it when it happens. Minutes in the future. Though perhaps not as few as implied by circumstance. A peregrine mendicant trundles precarious cargo beneath the gleam of the celestially ominous. Hey, PM. Go outside and get some sun. You say a bittersweet goodbye to your beloved city. It is time to move on to greener pastures, by which of course you mean an arid, sandy wasteland upon which nothing green has grown in years. The door shuts behind you. A panel on the door becomes illuminated. As you ponder over the marks on the panel, you hear another mechanical sound overhead. The LCD panel appears to have a touchscreen interface. Curiously prod the funny-looking spirograph. It appears to be the funny-looking spirograph room is locked. The floor rotates a full 360 degrees beneath you, while the rotating wall seems to stay put. Select the triangular fractal. The triangular fractal room does not appear to be locked. The floor turns 120 degrees and the door opens. You go through another door to find another room. It's the same size as the other one you just wasted all that time in, while the clock was ticking down to something which may or may not be your doom. Maybe there's something in here that will help you escape. Against the wall, there's another perplexing contraption. Against the opposite wall is some sort of control panel which catches your eye. It has 2 large screens, but only one appears to be active. There are fields for numbers which appear to be modifiable with the dials to the right. Some numbers are already supplied by default, perhaps entered by the previous user. There are a few buttons below, the largest one bearing the symbol marking this room. Also, it looks like there is a meter stick propped up there for some reason. Attach your trusty knife to the meter stick. You immediately craft a measuring spear through possibly the most advanced form of alchemy employed thus far. This is obviously the most important thing to do first. Obviously. Or it would obviously be the most important thing to do if you had remembered to bring your trusty knife. You feel so insecure without your trusty knife, it makes you want to slit your wrists, or at the very least flog your carapace with some sort of measuring apparatus. Look at the other wall. You examine the perplexing contraption across the room. You of course have no idea what it could possibly do. You adopt the only obvious course of action, which is to poke and prod it with your handy ruler. You are quite sure this is what science is all about. Press the triangle pattern. You go back to the control panel, which is obviously controls that gizmo, and you push the big blue button, which is obviously probably the most obvious thing to push. You will purify a pumpkin. Examine the pumpkin. It seems this mysterious gourd was transported, purified, from a specific time and location somewhere on this planet you are on. You wonder if the machine, a purifier, will take any object that you exist at whatever time and location you supply. There is a symbol carved in the pumpkin. You don't know what it means, and you doubt you will ever prove to be relevant in any way. Devour a pumpkin. You consider dining on the ripe flesh of the pumpkin vegetable, but your curiosity about the purifier gets the better of you. You try to sneak a nibble from the pumpkin nonetheless. Inspect green buttons. You first examine the attractive green buttons. The icon for one on the left is the house shape you've seen plenty of times before. The right one on closer inspection appears to be the map for this underground facility, with an X marking its center. Press the green button on the right. You push the button. All of the numbers change. Perhaps these are coordinates for the location of the center of this facility, along with the local date and time. If this is the case, it would make a useful reference point for your current bearings. Fiddle with the dials. One way to find out would be to attempt to purify something from this facility. It should be easy to zero in on the location relative to the center because you have an uncanny knack for tracking precise distances you have already traversed, in whatever units you choose. Your handy ruler gives you a good clue as to the basic unit of human measurement. You will go with that. Purify your trusty knife. You nudge the coordinates very slightly and bump up the elevation by 0.5 human measurement units. You make sure to keep the time approximately what it was to begin with. You purify your trusty knife. Purify can time. You nudge the numbers a bit more and purify a bunch of cans. This is so much more efficient than walking back to the other room to get them. You are to believe that time is at a premium after all. De-purify the pumpkin. Does this machine look like a de-purifier to you? Honestly, the idea that an purifier could both purify and de-purify things is so laughably ridiculous. You wish someone could de-purify your brain and re-purify it with a brain that is much more smart and less dumb. Use trusty knife to carve spook schema in pumpkin. What the hell are you talking about? That idea makes no sense at all and is basically meaningless. Try using that mushy stuff with your gourd next time. Instead, you would carve off the top, exposing a decadent cache of gorgeous seed-laden ambrosia. Needless to say, you consume all of it rather quickly, but it turns out to be too gross for us to watch. Move spirograph switch. You cannot move it. It has a spirograph-shaped indentation and possibly will require a special key to turn it. A purified firefly out of amber. Yay! You've been freed! You have a friend. You release your blinky new friend. You will give her a name when something suitably whimsical occurs to you. Adjust time dial to purify rotten pumpkin. The past. You and Serenity consider new ways to waste more time with the purifier. You are assuming she is a girl firefly, even though you're not really sure that fireflies can even be girls. You target the extremely tasty rotten pumpkin that was sitting in the other room hours ago. It seems the purifier cannot appear something if it will create a time paradox. A gelatinous ghost pumpkin purifies and quickly dissolves into a pile of unappetizing sludge. That happens because he ate the pumpkin before, you could tell in the previous panel. So if something already happened to the pumpkin in the future, then you cannot purify the pumpkin. I purify the grate over the entrance to the facility. Oh yeah, she says things in Morse code, but I don't know how to read Morse code. So, oh well, I don't have any guides to Morse code. Serenity blinks a message of urgency. You nearly forgot that while trapped in amber, she was witness to all your tomfoolery and dilly-dallying in the other room, and knows the timer is about to expire. It is time to get the show on the road and escape. You reset the coordinates with your right green button again, and this time only adjust the elevation by approximately 10 human measurement units. SVB. Hasten to the exit post-haste. Also, I love how it comes out as if it got like melted off the edges there, so purifying might not be like a very safe process to do with people. Time to escape. Of course, gotta bring all your shit with you. Hurry up! Is this really necessary? Oh wait. Unpsych. You attempt the rare and highly dangerous 5 times cliffhanger combo and fail. We are doing it, man. We are making this happen. SWV ascend. Ooh, exciting. End of Act 2. Alright, there it was. I was thinking it was gonna be soon, and there it goes. Okay, so that's the end of Act 2 for Homestuck live reread. The next act that I'll be reading is Act 3, and I'll be doing that on Saturday. It's also at 6 p.m. So just a few days from now. Oh, I'm so tired though. I need to give my throat a rest and like all the reading and stuff. So, I hope you guys had fun. I hope people watched it and like were interested in that kind of thing. Act 2 is probably like not one of the more interesting acts, so it'll get more interesting very soon. Alright, so have a good night guys. See you later, and see you on Saturday. Bye bye.